There's no hope.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
We all know what's going to happen to the Cowboys ahead of time, and you'll be chronicling it.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
If they're healthy, you watch. They might not lose a game.
The Rich Eisen Show. Today's guests: ESPN college football analyst Ryan Leaf, Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith, ESPN NFL analyst Mina, plus actor and comedian Billy Gardell. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
That's correct. That's factual. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. I am your humble host, sitting here on our set in El Segundo, California, Los Angeles County, home of the Big Ten and the defending Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams, who kick off tomorrow night against the Super Bowl champion Buffalo Bills. Yes, that's the way things are working here on this this wild Wednesday before the NFL season kicks off. We've got not one but two in-studio guests, Mina of ESPN, Billy Gardell of Bob Hart's Abba Shola on CBS. He's a diehard Steeler fan. I cannot wait to say the one word to him that is like waving a red cape in full of a rampaging bull for anybody in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that word is Acrisure. Can't wait to say that to him later on. It's going to be great. I wouldn't miss it. And then our first two guests, Ryan Leaf, a longtime friend of this program. He's got a new show he wants to talk about. And obviously there's lots going on in the world of college football and so much more. He will be joining us on this program, as will a top of hour number two. You know, there is another quarterback in the Monday night Week 1 finale.
There is?
Yeah, there is.
Does he ride also? Or?
I will ask him if one guy says, let's ride, what's his phrase? Because I don't know how there's going to be too many let Geno cook conversations that's going to be in Seattle, but he's going to be cooking, and he's got a hell of an opportunity resting on his shoulders and his right arm and in between his temples and what beats in his chest. Geno Smith will be starting for the Seattle Seahawks. First time he's starting a season opener since the 2014 season with the Jets, who just announced Joe Flacco as their Week 1 starter. We'll hit on that as Geno Smith joins us top of hour number two on this program. Good to see you over there, Christopher.
Hey, Rich. I'm great. You didn't ask, but I'm just pronouncing to everyone that I'm great.
That's great. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Patrick Beverly was doing when he was asked about playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
It's nice to let you guys do the show with me.
That's it?
Yeah, of course.
Good to see you over there, Jay Felly. How are you?
What's up,
I had
Rich?
no idea you'd be here today, but I'm glad that you're here.
Hey, I'm surprised
Good to see you. TJ Jefferson, how are you, sir?
Well, Rich,
did you have a spill situation? Because you're getting up, moving around. I'm trying to open the show. I was going to go right to you.
Oh, man.
You know,
little tea spillage.
The trumpets play to start our show, and you can't come out of the pen.
I can't. You know, the thing is, guys, I've been going to bed every night when I say my prayers. I've prayed for the soft tissue and the ligaments of Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, and unfortunately, the Lord, I don't know if he heard those prayers, but I have to just pray harder.
Pray harder, sir.
Pray harder. God, if you're listening, help.
Pray
Please.
harder.
The Braves are coming.
Great Christmas movie. Pray harder.
Pray hard too.
That's definitely a Christmas movie. Pray harder.
with the vengeance.
From the Acrisure Plaza.
Hey, we're going to be talking about everything that we just hit right here on this program. So let's start with this. Let's start with last night. About last night. Great movie.
Demi Moore, Rob Lowe.
Hey, Jim Belushi's coming out party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from back in the day. So last night, on the set of NFL Network, NFL Game Day season preview show, me and Mooch and Kurt and Irv all back together. And as always, we give you on our season opener,
Look at that
our
picture.
preview program, we give you our choices of who's winning the divisions and who's winning the Super Bowl and who's winning MVP. So we don't have these conversations beforehand. We don't reveal to each other beforehand. It's kind of like you roll the dice in wearing a certain suit that day that you're not going to be wearing matching colors and you look like security as opposed to on-air compadres on a football program on NFL Network. So we all show up, the four of us, along with Rachel Bonetta and Cynthia Freeland, and give our Super Bowl predictions. And lo and behold, would you believe it? We circled the wagons. Every one of us chose the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 for those who don't do Roman numerals.
Look at her.
LVII.
Thank you.
And the difference was who the Bills beat. Michael Irvin had the Bills over the Cowboys. I was saying, does Devin Singletary know where his helmet is before that? The Rams were the choices of Kurt Warner and Rachel Bonnetta to win the NFC and get vanquished by the Bills. Cynthia chose the Packers. She also chose Aaron Rodgers to win his third straight MVP as well.
That's not happening.
Steve Mariucci chose the Niners. He can't quit. He can't quit the Niners, even though they quit him years ago. And I can't quit Tom Brady. And I said, hey, Bills over the Bucks. And, you know, if I'm a Bills fan, of course I'd be concerned because we're all choosing the Bills and you're thinking, okay, you're putting the Ziggy on us. And I've got a few thoughts as to the reactions. I've heard from Bills fans saying you've jinxed us. And then there's many other counties, thankfully, that they're watching, including Bill Simmons, very popular Bill Simmons. Let's not even play the season. The Bills are clearly going 20-0 is the way that he retweeted the graphic that NFL Game Day put out there of all of our selections. And let me just say this. I almost chose the Rams to win Thursday night after choosing the Bills to win it all. So they're not going 20-0. They're going to lose. They could even lose Thursday night. I just feel that the Bills are the best team in the NFL. And I will never, ever go on a show anywhere, this one, NFL Network, and do anything just because it's quote-unquote safe or do anything just because quote-unquote everybody else is doing it.
Does that include picking on the Cowboys?
I will always shoot everyone straight here, okay? Everybody. I will never choose anything for clicks. I will never choose anything just because it's the safe choice. Sometimes you just have to keep it simple. And over the, 20 years now, this is my 20th season with NFL Network. We turn 19 this November. 19 years old. This is our 20th season. And over the years, who are the Super Bowl champions? If you had to ask about a through line, what is similar? What similarities do Super Bowl champions end up having?
Tom Brady.
That's a great point.
Bill Belichick.
Since he's been in 10 Super Bowls, 9 of them since NFL Network began. Our first 2 years was the back-to-back championships, the only one Brady's ever had. In fact, it's the last one the NFL's seen. It's the longest such drought in the history of the NFL, going this long without back-to-back Super Bowl winners. But yeah, Tom Brady is a through line, but you have to have a veteran hand who's done it or a young quarterback who's been there and done that and doesn't know any better, and it's time to break through. And yeah, that includes Joe Flacco or Brad Johnson as a veteran hand. I mean, there's many different ways. You need somebody who could be inspired for a contractual run, which Flacco was. I mean, this isn't all one size fits all, but you need a quarterback to either have been there and done that, a breakthrough season, or you need to have somebody who's generationally brilliant. It helps to have a game-changing quarterback. It also helps to have a good offensive line. It helps to have a good running game. But it also helps to have a terrific offensive attack that puts you on your heels. Also helps to have a coaching staff that knows the team and the roster. It helps to have a terrific defense. It helps to have a veteran hand or hands on that defense. It helps to have a good kicking game. It helps to have all of that. It helps to have a good general manager who adds players who are drafted. It helps to have a team that just got close and getting set to break through. Thus, they have maybe a chip on their shoulder. The Bills checked every last box that I just said. So, yeah, I guess I'm coming on the air and defending my choice. I'm also defending the choice of anybody who chooses the Bills. Of course, when there's a consensus pick, it should scare you because this league is the ultimate you never know. I sit 2 chairs down from Kurt Warner. The ultimate you never know. Brady, who you said, Chris, is the through line for all of these Super Bowl championship teams, he's also the you never know quarterback, obviously. Once upon a time, the GOAT had a large question mark around him.
Just when was the last time, though, when you look at this, like when
it's very rare.
The favorite,
I know.
the consensus, when was the last time they actually are the ones hosting the trophy?
Because the Patriots were a consensus pick, maybe the year that they wound up going undefeated, and they almost did go, 20-0 or 19-0, what have you. Yeah. And then you run into somebody at the last second, and the Bills can run into somebody and have a terrific game, but screw up the last 13 seconds, with all due respect. I guess I should have front-loaded that. But that's what happened last year, and that could happen to the Bills this year. And instead of us saying, hey, Bills Mafia, finally, you can celebrate, it'll be, wow, what a snake-bitten franchise this is. You know? The only franchise with a dynasty in which they didn't win a single time at the Super Bowl. The only franchise that has had, wide right and can't find your helmet and all of that. And 13 seconds and, man, what a plucky fan base they've got. Great fan base, just can't break through. That could be the storyline. And part of the reason why I chose the Bucs is not only because I don't want to ever pick against Tom Brady again, and even though I just did with the Bills, beating them, but I also think that over the 19 Super Bowls that I've covered, there's a wink and a nod from the football gods that always likes to put a couple teams together because the football gods are laughing at you. And who owned the Bills while he was in New England for all those years? Brady. And who could the Bills send into retirement with a loss a la North Carolina on Coach K? The Bills could do that to Brady, and I think that would be a huge hype of a week. Bills versus Brady. Again, can Brady win and go off into the sunset? Again, can the Bills finally get past the guy who owned them like Aaron Rodgers says he owns the Bears? That's the reason why I chose that. Plus, the Bucs are pretty damn good, despite their woes up front in the interior offensive line. I think Brady knows how to get rid of the football, and boy, does he have weapons if they're healthy to get the ball to. And he still has Gronk's number on speed dial, I bet. That's why I came out with my pick. I'm not sitting around thinking, you know what, I just got to do the safe thing because I don't want to be wrong. How many times am I wrong? Many times. I'll come here and raise my arm and say my bad, or I got it wrong. I'm never afraid of the freezing cold takes site. As a matter of fact, I've added that site saying, you don't scare me. I don't care. Put my tweet up there. At Rich Eisen, spell my name right, hit the follow button. I'll just always shoot you straight. But I understand why Bills fans are like, everybody thinks we're going to win. The pressure's on. But guess what? I don't think Josh Allen's going to feel it. I think he's that good.
Yeah, Rich, this weird thing that you don't think pressure exists ever.
Oh, it exists. It does exist, but it exists in moments. It exists in these moments. It exists on 3rd and long or 3rd and short, and you need it in that moment. And everybody boils it down to execution. And can you execute in that moment? Nobody's thinking, moment's too big, or we just lost 3 in a row. We need it now. I think they really think in that moment. And how can you handle it between Monday and kickoff Sunday after that previous loss Sunday when the media is talking to you? Well, you're in Western New York. You don't have 1 million coming at you. And you also don't have 1 million stations 24/7. And Josh Allen is like this. And a perfect example about pressure is always boiled down to execution. Great story from Cooper Kupp last week. Talking about that 4th down run. Super Bowl on the line, legacies, football lives on the line. You can't get more of a pressure-packed situation. And Sean McVay dials up a play that Cooper Kupp said he and Stafford screwed up so badly, and only the two times that they ran it in practice, McVay was saying, I'm pulling it from the playbook. And they're like, no, we can come up with a way to make this work. We're going to work on it. And McVay's like, fine. And nobody thought about it until that fourth down moment when McVay calls the play. And I asked Cooper Kupp, I'm like, so what'd you think? Did you think, or what's? And he's like, no. They look at each other, Stafford and Kupp saying, remember what we did in practice? Remember that thing? Let's do it. Okay, great. Boom. We'll run the play. Then a couple snaps later, I'll no-look you into the red zone by winging one across the middle. And then we'll win the Super Bowl. I'm sure Bengals fans are like, there's a couple of penalties on that drive. But I think that's my point.
Yeah, my point is just like when you're the consensus Super Bowl favorite in Vegas and your quarterback is the betting favorite for MVP, inevitably there's pressure on you.
I don't think they're going to...
And week to week.
To the point where they'll miss the playoffs?
I have no idea what's going to happen.
No, they're making the playoffs.
Dude, the year after 19-1, Brady gets hurt 6 minutes into the game, and the season is over, basically.
That pressure comes home to roost in the middle of a divisional playoff game if they wind up on the road. I don't think they're going to wind up on the road. I think they're going to sit there, and you're going to sit there in Western New York and say, everybody come to us, everybody. Take your bus through the funeral, not the funeral, the fires, the tailgate pyres. You come in here. That's the way I see it. They should do it. And if they don't, maybe you can come here and say, Rich, you were wrong. They wilted under the pressure based on the fact that all six of you on game day morning picked them.
Oh, you're not. You guys aren't going to be alone. I imagine every show is going to have a majority of the Bills picked as the Super Bowl champs.
Who do you think is going to win it? Hold on to it.
Find out tomorrow.
Oh, really? You can do it tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay.
I have no idea, actually. I mean, it's wide open.
We're going to ask every single guest that we have here.
And also, you're just looking to see who's going to be the next Bengals. Like, that was literally out of nowhere. They were 150-1 to win going into the season. So, who knows? Great analysis.
But that team had a quarterback ascending.
They had a quarterback coming off a knee injury.
And they had a guy with a chip on his shoulder who knows how to win, and a young team. And a young team that was filled with momentum. So, yeah, it's not cookie cutter. But I'm just looking at the way you can build a roster to win a championship, the way that you build over the years to your championship season, the way that you can play football in week and then have the ability to focus on what's most important out of week. That's the Bills for me in 2022. What say you? 844-204-RICH, number to dial. We got time for your phone calls. Ryan Leaf's going to join us next. Some college football, some professional football, and he's got some good professional news of his own. That's how we're rolling into our first break right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Chris Brockman hits the top 10, the bottom half of the top 10 of his final teams that he's rolling down the list to kick off of burning questions for teams 6 through 10 in his power rankings. Geno Smith of the Seattle Seahawks. We won't mention him where you placed the Seahawks on your power rankings out of respect. Out of respect.
Thank you.
And we roll into our first break right here. Billy Gardell and Mina in studio, but our friend Ryan Leaf when we come back.
Like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Brockman's bald head is shining like a full moon.
Throw deep, baby.
The caller makes a good point.
And Dawson Knox just got paid too, by the way. Pizhead
sure did.
4 years, almost $60 million. They take care of their tight end just in time for the season. Gabe Davis could be a 1 on so many teams. He's a 2 there, right? Stephon Diggs is going to get a ton of attention for good reason. James Cook, they added him. Tre'Davious White will come back healthy at some point. Von Miller's in the locker room, telling all the youngsters how to do it. The defense was number 1 in almost every category last year. Josh Allen is an MVP candidate.
MVP favorite.
Well, what else do you need to know? I mean,
well, to quote you, Rich, I need to see it.
Okay. Like you'd say that about all 32 teams. But there's one that we saw it last year in one of the greatest playoff games you've ever seen.
And they lost.
I know. That's why you've got to play them. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm absolutely right. Why would I ever do that?
Well, you love to do that.
No, I'm not saying that. By the way, if I could be right about anything.
It'd be the Super Bowl prediction?
No. The Raiders winning the West. If I could choose one thing that I'm right about that I've been talking about for weeks and months here, I'd take the Raiders over the West than getting my Super Bowl pick right.
You're out there on that island.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. I was the only one out on NFL game day season preview. Mooch and Kurt both took the Chiefs. Irv took the Chargers. I took the Raiders. Boy, Stone Street pissed at me.
I saw.
Woo. Choosing the Raiders, then the Bills to win it all. Like, the Chiefs are nowhere in my selections, other than the fact that I think they make the playoffs as a wild card team. And, you can win the Super Bowl from the wild card.
You can. You can win the Super Bowl on, 3 road games.
You can.
It's been done.
I know. Or you can win the Super Bowl today, as the Bills have done.
Bills have done. Undefeated. 20-0.
20-0.
Congrats to Western New York.
There you go. 844-204-RICH, number to dial here on the Rich Eisen Show. He sits in this chair. He has sat in this chair very frequently. He's been a longtime friend of this program. He pours his heart out into the microphone and also gives you straight, unvarnished opinions about the sport of football that has placed him in many different spots in his career. And now he joins us as the host of his own show that I'm excited for him to tell you all about, as well as getting set for another season, talking college football and more for the worldwide leader in sports. Our friend Ryan Leaf back here on the Rich Eisen Show, this time as a guest as opposed to a guest host. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, Rich. Thanks for having me. Excited to be on the show.
Okay, so go for it. Press release is out. You've been tweeting that you got great news about your professional career. You've got the floor. What do you got, Ryan?
Well, I'm gonna start with this simply. I interviewed for this job a few months ago, and when they called to offer me it, they said the biggest selling point for me was my guest hosting turns on your show. And so, again, you know this more than anybody, but how grateful I am for you for the platform, the opportunity, because this is where me and the family had hoped to go. We hope to have our own sports talk show that really dives into the world of sports as well as kind of the life I lead now. And so we came up with a name called The Straight Line with Ryan Leaf, and it it has a fitting ring to it in terms of how we'll be talking about football and sports and betting, as well as, my life and what your audience has been able to hear over the last, 3 years of me hosting your show.
Dude, look, I've told this to you many times. It's not just, you could sit anyone in front of a microphone. It's what somebody does with the microphone. And obviously you telling your stories about your career and how you wound up where you wound up and why you have wound up where you currently are. That's what people dig. They, that's why people flock to any video that you're pouring your heart out. And so congratulations on that. So how can people see this? When, what time, what day of the week? What do we got? When's the straight line?
All right, yeah. So we're going to be 4 days a week right now, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Wednesday show is going to be a college football show based mostly, and then Monday, Thursday, and Friday are going to be focused on the NFL. Of course, during NFL season, we're going to dive into that aspect of things. Excited to talk about that. You can check it kind of like what you guys do on YouTube or social media and anywhere that you get your podcast until we have our distributor in place. Hopefully, our association with NBC Sports with PointsBet will allow for maybe your old partner Peacock to get involved.
Okay.
So we'll see. Well, right now we're excited where we're at, and we launch the show tomorrow, and you can watch it anytime. It's not
so it's announced today, and you're doing it tomorrow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're kind of a startup. We just built a studio in Manhattan. The way my boss puts it, we're flying the plane while we build it, and I kind of like that. I like that they saw me and they saw somebody who has kind of been a mercenary over the last 3 or 4 years working for pretty much everybody, and they said this guy wants to build something with us, and we're gonna do it together.
Well, congrats on that, Ryan Leaf. Terrific. And so while you build the plane while you fly it, let's put your seat in the upright position and talk some football right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So college football, let's start with that, Ryan, with you. Tell me why it won't just be Alabama and Georgia playing for the whole shooting match again. You got something for me on that?
Yeah, it's tough. I think, you clearly saw the two best teams playing on Saturday. Georgia just didn't have to really reinvent themselves after losing the entire defense to the NFL in the first round. And then Alabama has arguably the best offensive and defensive players on the football field. If you are a Texas fan, just don't watch the game this weekend.
Really? Wow.
All right.
So McConaughey needs to avert his eyes.
Some other great college football. Kentucky, Florida is a good one you could watch, but don't do it.
Really?
Yeah. Check out maybe USC Stanford on Saturday night. That might be one that you'll be excited by. But yeah, it could be ugly. I even offered a score of like 63-20. Ooh. So it's a lot. And I think Steve Sarkisian has gone into this week trying to lower expectations. He understands that he's like, this team will not be defined by this game. He knows Nick Saban really well, and he knows what this could look like when it plays out. This team won 5 games a year ago. They lost to Kansas, right? They haven't improved that much in terms of a roster turnover. I think the young quarterback's going to struggle against the likes of Will Anderson in that defense. So, yeah, it could be a long day for the Longhorn fans.
What's it like in a meeting room or a film room when everybody in the room knows, oh, God, that matchup's a problem for us. Oh, gosh, that's going to be an issue for us. And the coaching staff just knows, it's got to be one of those any given Saturdays. What in the world is that like, Ryan?
It's a tough one, right? When you're looking around the room, when you're in there with your staff meeting, and you're going you look at Will Anderson, and you're like, how can we stop him? We can't put 5 guys on him, then everybody else is gonna kill us, right? It's absolutely decimating to your optimism about something, but. Like anything, and I think when Oregon walked into the horseshoe a year ago against Ohio State,
right?
No one in the world gave them a chance. They'd lost Kayvon Thibodeau, their best player, Justin Flo, one of their other best linebackers on the defensive side. Offensively, they've never been seen as a team that can overly dominate or outshoot somebody in a shootout with the likes of, and they went in and beat them, right? So that's the example. This one's at home, right? This one is in Austin. In front of a ruckus crowd, big noon kickoff on Fox. There's a big hoopla to it. And I remember when this schedule came out 2 years ago, right after the exodus by Texas from the Big 12 to the SEC. And, I mean, this is going to give them a real good idea of what the SEC is going to look like. And I don't know what division they're going to be in, but you would assume they're going to be in the SEC West. And so this is a yearly matchup that you're going to see play out in real time.
Ryan Leaf, host of his new show, The Straight Line with Ryan Leaf on PointsBet, which debuts tomorrow right here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's going on, do you think, in your alma mater in Pac-12 country? We had David Shaw on a couple of weeks ago, and whenever you tell a coach, hey, do you circle this game, do you circle that game, their answer is going to be, we do it just one game at a time. But, Lincoln Riley and USC coming in with USC bolting for the Big Ten, this would be a great time for Stanford to strike a blow for the Pac-12. What do you think is going to happen with this conference, and what's going on with your alma mater right now, Ryan?
Well, you look at this matchup, this early season matchup that happens every single year, and it's kind of a litmus test of where the Pac-12 is, right? Stanford, of course, and a lot of craziness comes out of this game. Like a year ago, Stanford humiliated USC at home, and sure enough, the next day Clay Helton was fired, right? I mean, this game really dictates a lot in terms of how good Stanford's going to be or where USC is at. Rice is a quality opponent, but they also got 3 defensive touchdowns, So I like this matchup. I think it's going to be extremely difficult for Lincoln Riley to go on the road against a very physical Stanford team. So we'll see. As for the entirety of the Pac-12, it wasn't a great weekend. Right? Wasn't a great weekend, right? It was Oregon getting absolutely destroyed on a national platform. And then Utah, which I thought was the best chance, went on the road and kind of laid an egg, right? They turned it over twice inside the 5-yard line and missed just so many tackles, the most in, I think, a decade, Kyle Whittingham said on the defensive side of the football. But I still think they're the best team in the Pac-12. They'd have to do something unprecedented. They'd have to go and run the table to be considered in the college football playoff conversation. I don't think USC ultimately this year gets there. I think they're going to be a team with 2 or more losses. As for my alma mater, they didn't look the part, right? Their young quarterback, who was the transfer everybody was excited about, was pretty undisciplined, and I expect the coaching staff to have a real kind of come to Jesus conversation with him, that he has to stay within the confines of this offense to be successful at this level. They go to Camp Randall this weekend on the big FOX as well, and that could be a real welcome to the Division I football for the young quarterback. They're 17-point underdogs, I think, at the time of yesterday. So I like their head coach. I like where they're headed. I like how they're playing defense, which I think will keep them in a lot more games this year. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Pac-12 football. I am. I'm excited for it every week. I have Oregon BYU next weekend, which I think is going to be a heck of a matchup, a heck of a game in Eugene. So excited for that, too.
No, I hear you, and I don't blame you for wanting to talk up Pac-12 football. If I went to school there, I'd want to do it as well. But I fear they're on the outside looking in, sir. I really do. That this is all.
Rich. I even think with Utah, if they were to run the table in the conference, which has never happened before in the history of the Pac-12 conference, to win all 9 conference games, if they were to do that and be a 12-1 conference champion, I still think they'd probably be on the outside looking in. I really do. So I agree with you on that. It's just the narrative around the Pac-12, unless it's USC, I think, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Ryan Leaf here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's your Super Bowl pick? Everyone on game day morning chose the Bills. Do you choose them too? What do you got?
Well, I did until I saw that graphic. When
Wow.
everybody in the world is going with something,
right?
I was with you though. You were turning about. I have, Bills are my team to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I do feel that way. I don't think they win tomorrow night. I think they get beat by the defending world champs.
That's possible.
I also want the answer around how the offseason was addressed by Buffalo, because the last we saw of them was the coaching staff absolutely just with egg all over their face. How did they address it? Did they address it in the locker room? Because they've never addressed it really publicly. They have to have addressed it in the locker room, because this is the first time they're going out. What happens when the pressure and the stress of that moment happens again? Do they fold like they did in Kansas City, or do they overcome and become the best team in football this year? I think great value teams out there, I think, are the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Vikings, to be honest with you. There's some real interest in those three teams, in my opinion. But the Bills, I hate to do it. I think that they're the best team in football. We'll see how they respond.
They are. I mean, even last year when they wound up 13 seconds shy of beating the Chiefs in a playoff game that we're going to be talking about for years to come, certainly because we're going to see Allen and Mahomes go at it with each other for a decade more, knock on wood, for those fan bases and those players and franchises. But the Bills started last season with an awful loss at home to Pittsburgh, making us wonder what the hell was going on with them. And then everything, they ripped off all those wins. And, I don't know. I think that locker room, everything that I hear from that spot, they're hunky-dory. And that quarterback is somebody that they're going to follow into the gates of what, man. They're ready to go. And that's why I fully believe they're the best team, and that if they execute when the game is on the line, that's a large if based on their last game. I think they are the team to beat. Who's the team to beat in the NFC for you? You mentioned the Vikings. Are you taking them to win the NFC though?
I kind of like what they're capable of doing. On the NFC side of things. Green Bay's I think the easy pick in all of this. But I just don't know if there's an NFC team out there that can really vie for a championship this year, except for maybe the Rams against an AFC opponent. We'll see. Right now, I'm going to go with the guy that I don't think a lot of people expect, and I'm going to go with the Vikings finding a way to get there under new head coach Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins.
All right.
I love that offense. I think the defense has improved. I think there's just a new lease on life there in Minnesota. So that's a great value one for me. I don't think they win the Super Bowl by any means. I think whoever gets there from the AFC ultimately does get it done.
Ryan, thanks for the time. Thanks always for sitting in this chair. Congrats on your new gig. We'll be watching. You take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Mike and Heller.
Close enough.
Out there, right?
You're the man.
Hey.
Thanks for the call.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for the
Take care,
call,
brother.
Ryan. Take care, brother. That's Ryan Leaf, at Ryan Leaf on Twitter. You should follow him. I do as well. Right here on the program. When he, Chris, help me out here.
Mike.
When he says value, what does he mean by that?
Oh, value?
Yeah.
You're looking at
what does he mean? Like
a specific price, and then what you would have to put in and what you might get in return.
But I don't understand when I'm
ROI, Rich.
Yeah, return
ROI.
on investment.
But I'm just watching the team. Do I have value? Does the game have more value when I'm just, hey, which game's on? I'm just going to turn on this game. Is that what he means? Like it's a more valuable watching experience for you?
It can be, depending if you have.
For many people.
For many people, especially now in the United States.
Because I watch the game for points, just to watch to see who has more.
I understand.
I think you're in the minority there, Rich.
So you're saying the value part is the bets part of what
Sometimes I like getting points, like say the defending champs at home getting points.
Your gambling terms confuse me. Unfrozen caveman host of NFL Network.
Come to the dark side, Rich.
Oh, boy.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice?
Okay. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, which was the more awkward press conference moment yesterday?
Oh, my gosh.
Because there were a couple.
Yep. Sure was.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Do not miss what's coming up next before Geno Smith calls in, and then Mina stops by.
I have no explanation for what happened.
have everything ready?
A Festivus for the rest of us. How about them Cowboys?
Let's get them all. Let's hit them all now while we got the muscle.
This is a letter written in March of 1998 to Colts owner Jim Irsay, who at the time, a month away in the draft, the decision between you and Peyton Manning.
Right.
Correct? It's from Hunter S. Thompson.
Dear James.
Dear James. Dear James, in response to your addled request for a quick $30 million loan to secure the services of the Manning kid, I have to say no at this time. But the Leaf Boy is another matter. He looks strong and Manning doesn't, or at least not strong enough to handle that welcome to the NFL business for 2 years without a world-class offensive line. How are you fixed at left OT for the next few years, James? Think about it. You don't want a China doll back there when that freak sap comes crashing in.
Wow.
Okay, let me know if you need some money for Leaf. I expect to be very rich when this Depp movie comes out. Your faithful consultant, Hunter, and it's signed HST.
The absurdity of the fact that A, Hunter S. Thompson knew who I was, and B, that he was trying to persuade Mr. Irsay to draft me instead was just comical. And not to see it for 20 years, how does it's just nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
Right.
I called John Walsh of ESPN. It's 1,000% real.
Wow.
And Hunter S. Thompson was a huge NFL fan and obviously had an opinion on the 1998 draft.
Well, I think now that we know that a lot of people had an opinion on the 1998 NFL draft.
This is amazing.
Isn't that amazing? I love that line, is that you don't want a China doll back there when that freak sap comes crashing in.
The irony of all this, right? The irony of this, he would go on and start the most consecutive games of anybody, and I would be injured going into year 2 and miss the entire season. So we're just reminding people.
Strong underlined.
Yeah, strong.
That was Ryan Leaf's, I believe, first appearance on the show. And you just heard his latest, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show for all. When you open up a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, you're opening up more than just doors, people. You're unlocking potential. The potential to do your own thing, be your own boss, steer your own business, blaze your own trail. Each and every Sprinter van is built, designed, and equipped to let you hit the open road and take on any goal you set to help you follow your own passions. Reawaken that spirit of adventure and check all those big, bold, fun, exciting experiences off your bucket list. Owning a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van lets you live, work, and play out your dreams no matter how far off the beaten path they might take you. And with 16 body types, your choice of a gas or diesel engine, and thousands of ways to customize, a Sprinter van is capable and versatile enough to help you drive your ambitions wherever you want to take them. So now's the time to discover what it is that moves you most. Don't wait. Unlock your potential inside a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial here on the program. Zach in Japan
I know.
Like as in the country of Japan, Jack? The nation of Japan? You there, Zach? Oh, my goodness.
No.
Did he call collect from Japan? All right, put him back on hold. We're an international show. Nick in the United Kingdom. You're on the Rich Eisen Show. Nick in the UK. What's up, Nick?
Hey, Rich. How you doing?
What's going on? What's on your mind today, sir?
Well, I just wanted to let you guys know about our 24-man draft that went down on Monday.
Okay, you survived it. What happened?
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit wild. At first 10 picks, we had 4 quarterbacks go off the board. So, like in the world of baseball, unwritten rules are there, and they're there to be broken. And when you're in a 24-man league...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, all the rules get broken. So at pick 11, which is what I had, I managed to get Austin Eckler, which is not too bad.
No, that's not too bad. That's right. Okay. Most importantly, though, the thing that I most give me your last player. Who is the last player that won drafts in a 24-man draft? The last one off the board for your team in the United Kingdom is what? Who? And do you know who the Mr. Irrelevant of that draft was? Who was the last player selected in that draft as well? Do you have that information? That's what I want to know. That's the information.
Yeah, so my last pick was Washington rookie quarterback Sam Howell.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. How many fantasy drafts do you think Sam Howell got drafted in?
Only this one.
This is it? This is it?
This is it.
It's the one on planet Earth.
Maybe his own. Maybe his own.
We found it. Okay. And who was the last player?
I'm a Washington fan, and I have not that much faith in the Washington front office, but there we go.
No, but by the way, Nick, that's not a bad dart throw right there. That's not a bad dart throw in a 24-man fantasy draft. So who is the Mr. Irrelevant of this draft? The last one.
The Mr. Irrelevant
of the entire draft.
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay. Figuring Daniel Jones gets banged up, he's going to get some run. Very good. And Nick, what's the prize? What's the prize?
The prize this year is a jersey of a player who I can't remember. The last year's it was actually a Jamarcus Russell jersey and a very small replica of the Lombardi Trophy.
Okay. All right.
But this year, I believe the trophy will be passed and a jersey will be presented as well.
Okay, very good.
Provided by a local vintage store.
Okay, very good. Nick in the UK, thank you for that update.
Well done,
Great
Nick.
update.
Thanks, brother.
Tyrod Taylor. The drafted backup quarterback. I mean, that's too
normally
much.
your backup quarterback on your fantasy team is a starter.
Yes.
You know,
like Derek Carr was my backup.
Like Matt Ryan or someone super late.
Yeah.
No, we're actually drafting
literal
backup quarterback.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hard pass. Hashtag hard pass.
Even I pass on that one.
844-204-RICH, number to dial.
Did my draft last night.
How'd you do?
I mean, it's probably Brockman's saw. I'll let him tell you what he thinks. It's easy for me to say. I think I did all right.
All right, that's good.
It's kind of like my team. It's got a lot of upside players.
Where was your first round?
Well, we're at auction, so it's big boy stuff.
So who was the most expensive player in your draft?
Jonathan Taylor.
And how much did he go for?
I want to say he went out of a $200.
50? Somebody spent a half.
I think I want to say he went 69 probably.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, and you always kind of poo-poo the auction when I bring it up, but the fact is, when you play auction, if you want a guy, you can get him. You just have to spend the money for him.
Spend the money.
Great. Wonderful. Spend a lot of time. My poker league, we did it in 46 minutes. It was glorious, and we were done. And then cards
tells me that
were in
you
the
guys
air.
don't like each
cards
other.
Were in the air. No, we love each other.
No, you don't.
Cards are in the air.
No, you
Let's
don't.
do it. It starts at 5 o'clock Pacific. We were done at 5:46. Cards in the air at 6. Let's go.
Yeah, see, Brockman's is
we
a little
families. We got stuff going on.
Brockman's is a little too long. Yours is a little too short. Ours is 3 hours.
Alice in Chains League is later today. We got the first overall pick.
We got the number one pick again. Welcome, Jonathan Taylor to Team Eisen. Team Eisen, Team Brockman. We have not decided our name yet. I've got about 100 names.
We're going to do that next week.
We need to narrow it down.
We got a big week next week. I'm going to reach out to Paul Rudd to do that next week. Okay, we'll do that next week.
We got a lot.
Glenn, what's or nuts?
That's it. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. We discussed this on our previous program that, boy, did Brian Kelly get it with every possible barrel on Twitter. When LSU fell down significantly to Florida State early, just the memes of him screaming and red-faced like a big tomato, You just, going nuts. His halftime presser, where he was basically poor mouthing his players and their effort again, and that sort of stuff. And then they lose in that heartbreaking fashion. I mean, the pile-on was significant. And then this happened in his press conference yesterday when he was showing up. Like, Brian jokes all the time when he's on this show. He busts his stones about being a Michigan guy. He's a Notre Dame guy. He's got a great sense of humor. I don't know if they're used to that in SEC country. When you lose your opener, you're 0-1 and just showing up, and you're kind of chastising reporters for showing up late.
With that, we'll open it up to this late arriving media crowd that must have enjoyed the weekend. That's usually $10 that we put in the kitty. We'll have a big bash at the end of the year at my place.
Maybe if you win, I'll be on time.
I don't think it has anything to do with winning. I think it has to do with being on time.
When you win, we'll be on time.
That's such a Bush League answer by that reporter.
Well, Leah Vann is her name, and she is a reporter for The Advocate, the Baton Rouge, Louisiana Advocate, and she tweeted out that she was running from a doctor's appointment, got there 3 minutes before. Brian Kelly called me out. Jokingly, I owed him $10, he said. I said if he won, maybe I'd be on time. Not my finest hour. I apologized afterward. He was super chill and said I still owe him $10.
That's cool. That was nice of them to own it. But, come on.
The pile-on's there. You were joking yesterday in the overreaction Monday that he's one and done.
One and done. I think what he's realizing, Rich, is that it just means more.
I think it does.
Down there.
I think it does. In Notre Dame, it's very genteel,
Here's the provost, and the chaplain, and
there's the touchdown Jesus.
Maybe if you win, I'll be on time. It's kind of funny.
There's the slow clap.
Can't do that.
LSU loses to Florida State right off the bat. But I also understand, she's coming late from a doctor's appointment. She's there. Right. He's pulling a Tom Coughlin rule, right?
Yeah. He doesn't know why she's late, but
calls him out. Damn. But that's, to me, 1A in terms of awkwardness. Patrick Beverley, ladies and gentlemen, he's a Los Angeles Laker, and we all thought it would be him and Russ that would be at odds, right? Right? From back in the day. Didn't he low bridge Russ back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Pat Bev, trick y'all.
They do not like each other.
Well, I think we're seeing photographs of them yucking it up. Having, mending fences.
Yeah, yucking it up kind of implies that there's some fun in the banter. There ain't no fun in this banter.
I don't know.
No, there ain't no fun in it. Like I said, Russ is famous for saying Pat Bev trick y'all by saying, you think he plays defense and all he does is run around. But
Pat Bev's got to be at least pleased he's here in Los Angeles, back in L.A.
Yeah.
He's back in L.A., back in he played here way back in the day when it was called Staples.
Years ago, man.
Right?
Yeah.
And so now he's in the crypto.com with LeBron and Anthony Davis, as was pointed out to him by a reporter. Here's the exchange.
You'll be playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They will be playing with me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. That's the difference.
Have you guys started talking yet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I'm glad that, we get a chance to play with each other. Then, anything else, I'm excited to see it go on. I'm excited to, to get the battling going.
He's dead serious.
Oh, right. He's dead serious.
There's no joking in anything
Zero
that
chill.
he said.
I mean, he can be dead serious, fine. But the fact of the matter is you're playing with LeBron James.
Hey, man.
Stop it. You're playing with LeBron
He's not even
James.
starting.
Yeah. Isn't he? He might. I don't know. I don't know who starts on the Lakers. I don't really pay attention to them too much.
You know what? And of course, as you know, he was the object of the butt of the joke of the Inside the NBA gang, watching him cry winning the play-in game to make the playoffs, by the way. Look, man, I know Pat Beverley has a chip on his shoulder, and I know that so many athletes need to be a certain way and talk a certain way to be as good as they can be. But at some point, a little bit of self-reflection, is helpful and goes a very long way, I imagine, with your own teammates. Just throwing that out there for everybody as we enter hour 2 of our program. Because, you know, when it all comes down to it, there's LeBron and Anthony Davis and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers. And you would think Russ is the one that would have to adjust the most to that dynamic. And Patrick Beverley's raising his hand and saying, you know, I'm just as good as these guys. And I understand you've got some game you have to be in order to be an NBA player, and you got to have that dog in you and all that. But come on.
Come on, bro.
You know, one on occasion must check themselves.
Before they
I'll be honest, you know what I thought of when I saw that? When I saw that soundbite, I thought, like, is there a soundbite in Los Angeles Lakers history more potentially the verbal version of Swaggy P celebrating that missed 3 without looking at it as it rimmed in and out?
I love that, Jim.
That is what, to me, that soundbite is set up to become. Oh yeah, I'm here too.
They play with me
as the ball rims in and out behind him. That's what that soundbite felt like to me.
Oh, man.
Look, it's like I've said about him before, man. There's a certain mentality, like you pointed out.
Yes.
He has, and he's not going to turn that off, and that's him.
Understood.
Like it, love it, leave it. Like that's
there's
just him.
hands full, and then there's Darvin Ham. Yeah, man.
Ballin'. You know what? Go run another 40 in your suit.
Sorry, Eisen.
Mike Del Tufo doesn't have 2 outfits.
You started the super team, bro.
Or you just got shown up by the host.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no hope.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
We all know what's going to happen to the Cowboys ahead of time, and you'll be chronicling it.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
If they're healthy, you watch. They might not lose a game.
The Rich Eisen Show. Earlier on the show, ESPN college football analyst Ryan Leaf. Coming up, Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. ESPN NFL analyst Mina. Plus, actor and comedian Billy Gardell. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Yep, hour number 2 here on the Rich Eisen Show. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. Our phone lines are lit. Mina Kimes is here. She's going to be joining us in studio in about 20 minutes' time. We're excited to hear from Geno Smith. He was supposed to call in right now, but we're hearing he is still in a meeting and will be joining us in about 10 minutes' time. Looking forward to chatting with the starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. You there at 844-204-RICH and youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. We're making our way to the Roku channel in short order. There will be an announcement on that coming tomorrow.
Hey.
I have been promising an announcement on top of a promise and a pledge. And it's finally happening tomorrow. I promise. And I pledge.
Promise?
The Roku channel is free regardless. And we're going to start streaming free this very month. There will be an announcement on that tomorrow on an actual start date. Very excited to let everyone know. We say hello to our Odyssey listeners. And we're also going to Sirius XM. That's another pledge that will be back there.
We're everywhere, Rich.
We're waiting patiently. We're waiting patiently. Do I have to call Chris Russo to make something happen? Do I have to do that?
He runs Sirius, right?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, feels like
Howard Stern does.
Oh, right.
So
that's true.
Do I have to call Baba Booey to make this happen? If so, I will. I promise that. I promise you.
Baba Booey.
I will call Robert A. Booey to say what is happening.
The Whack Pack?
That's a pledge.
We're kind of like a Whack Pack for you.
You are. I'm in a mood.
Oh, why? Because you jinxed the Bills?
Nope. I didn't jinx the Bills.
Oh, you jinxed the Ravens.
I chose the Bills, and five others on game day morning did the same thing.
Now, did you all submit your picks independently?
Yes, we did.
So you didn't know?
I had no idea
happen.
until it happened.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't like to rehearse either. We just say, let's do it.
Right. Save the gold.
So, no, I'm in a mood because once again, the New York Jets trying to start a season, start fresh, start new, turn a page, finally decide that we're not going to get screwed over anymore by the football gods. Once again, kicked right in the perineum. Look it up.
Nice callback.
By the football gods. Yep. Great draft. Excellent draft. I mean, amazing draft. Amazing draft. Let's get a new wide receiver, a new running back, a new pass rusher. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right? New franchise-altering personality at cornerback. All kids from top-notch programs and schools and just figuring out, they don't know that Jets fans look for the trapdoor and get kicked in the nards by the football gods 50-plus years in running. Last night, NFL Network had every Super Bowl ring on, every Super Bowl ring that was there in some sort of, Pulp Fiction type case with the gleam from the case. There were all the rings from the case.
Nice.
And I grabbed the Jets. Top row, third from the left.
And it was very small.
It was very small compared to the other rings. I grabbed the Rams one and opened it up, and it made a noise, and I tried to put it back together again, and it wasn't actually fixing, and I thought for a second, do I need to jam it in there? And I handed it back to the guy in charge, and I'm like, my children's 529s are all fully funded. I still want them to go to school. You put it back together. It's like my kids can't get the cap back on the orange juice. Here, Daddy, you do it. That's what I did last night with the Rams ring.
What is juice?
But I put the Jet ring on. just to see how it would feel, just to try and ward everything off, because I heard Zach Wilson might be back. It's possible he's starting. Cue Coach Saleh today.
To be honest with you guys, and I'm just going to lay this out, so I really don't want to talk about the situation anymore. So the earliest he's going to be available is Pittsburgh. That's going to be the earliest. And just from everything we gathered over the last couple of days, now can it change? Sure, I'm always going to leave that door open. You guys know me, I'm the eternal optimist, but we are going to make sure that both mind and body are 110%, make sure we do right by him. And we feel like, talking to the doctors and everyone, it's going to be that Pittsburgh week.
Pittsburgh week, for those who might not be so sure of the Jets' schedule, that's week 4.
Well done there.
That's week 4. That's week 4. That's 3 games of Joe Flacco. Nobody on draft night says, wow, how's Garrett Wilson going to sync up with Joe Flacco? Wow, Breece Hall coming out of the backfield. How's he going to get the ball from Joe Flacco? Nobody thinking that. Nobody thinking, hey, this is an incredible moment for the Jets. We're finally turning the corner. And we play our first 3 games against the AFC North. Let's put Flacco back in that division, shall we? Nobody saying that. So I will say this. I'm going to take my cue from my coach. Not just because we're part of the Bald Brotherhood. No. I believe in Robert Saleh, and I'm going to be the eternal optimist. I'm thinking, Joe, this is your moment, sir. Yep, you're getting your first start of a season. No, it wasn't with the Ravens. That's not the last time he started a season. He started it with the Broncos in 2019. Let's not forget. Before he stunk the joint up and they had to turn to Brandon Allen and see what they had in Drew Lock. We're not going to go there, Joe. I'm not going there. And Jet fans, we will not go there. Maybe we will in the first quarter. But we're not going there now because you're going back in the AFC North and you're going to take this opportunity. You're going to take this moment. You're going to have that moment, the 3-week run like you had in that playoff. That glorious playoff that Ravens fans didn't think was possible. Where you chased down all of Kurt Warner's records like it was a game day morning bold prediction from Steve Mariucci. You broke them all. Touchdowns, no picks. You were perfect. You clean sheeted that playoffs, and you went to Steve Bisciotti and said, pay me. That's the Flacco that can show up. The weapons are there, Joe. The system is there for you to be that steady hand and veteran hand. That's why you're there. When Zach Wilson gets hurt, unfortunately, it keeps happening now. But when Zach Wilson is out, you are there to keep the ship righted. You know what it's like to take on the Ravens. You did it every day in practice for damn near a decade. You know what it's like to play the Cleveland Browns. And you know what it's like to play the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's go, Joe. Let's go, Joe. Last night, I put on the ring that was once worn by another Joe.
Oh, geez.
As a matter of fact, the guy who was in charge of the rings came up and said, whose ring is that? And I'm like, what do you mean, whose ring is that? He says, there's a name on the side of each ring. And it said Namath on the side of the ring. I'm like, is this really Joe Namath's ring? He goes, no, I guess they just put the name on it. I want another Joe.
Here's the deal. I know you're on a roll here, but
what role am I on?
Like,
I'm being positive.
What if Flacco goes 3-1? Do you have a quarterback controversy?
No, we don't. It's Zach Wilson's gig. It's time for him to just stay upright.
Chris, this is what got him to lose his mind last year when we tried to say that.
Go to Mike White.
No, you said the Mike White thing, and because you were going back at me, because I was all over the Cooper Rush thing with you.
Yeah, but no. That's how it started. Mike White came and played well, gave your team a chance to win a game. I said, maybe it's a guy. You lost it for some reason to start comparing Cooper Rush. And I'm like, bro, you're caught up in your feelings a little too much right now.
Well, I'm just saying. Can you predict the Jets schedule right now?
You are not new here. I'm not doing the Jets schedule right now.
Why not?
Why not? You made me do the Cowboys 2 months ago.
Because Geno Smith could call in at any
moment.
moment.
We're doing it today.
No, we're not doing it today. We don't have time today.
Oh, we got time.
We definitely have time.
We have time today.
We definitely have time
No, we
today.
have no time.
We don't have
Rich,
time
you
today.
literally control our time.
We're timeless. We have no time. I will not do it today.
No soup for you.
Because I'm feeling positive. All right?
Michael's got great hair, at least. You know, I mean, he's got that going.
Shut up. I'm going to be positive about it. But this is not what we envisioned. It's not what we thought. Who else's quarterback is not ready to start the season? Is Josh Allen ready to start the season? Tua, Mac Jones. Hold on a minute. Who else?
Oh,
Hold on. No. Let's do it. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Geno Smith could call any minute.
Lamar's ready, right? Lamar's ready.
He's ready.
Burrow had his friggin' appendix removed. He's ready.
Burst.
Yeah. He's ready. He'll answer the bell. Trubisky's ready. Steelers got 3 guys. What are we going to They're like, I don't know. Let's choose. We got 3 choices. Matt Ryan's ready. Tannehill's ready. Trevor Lawrence is ready for the first time since he had a real coach named Dabo Swinney, who's on Thursday. He's ready.
Rich, you have
Hold
the
on,
luxury.
no, stop, sir.
You have luxury is all
you know
I'm
who's
saying.
also ready? Davis Mills. Neck up, neck down, he's ready.
Long necking.
Everybody in the AFC West is up and ready. Dak's ready. Jalen Hurts is ready. Carson Wentz, even he's ready.
Yeah.
Right? Daniel Jones, his neck. He's ready.
He's ready.
Kirk Cousins is ready. Jared Goff is ready.
We ready.
Aaron Rodgers is ready. Right?
Kyler Murray's ready.
Kyler Murray's ready. His iPad's ready.
That's my quarterback
It's all
this year.
charged up. It's all charged up.
TJ's quarterback in fantasy.
Yep.
Justin Fields is ready. Tom Brady is ready.
We think.
Baker Mayfield is ready.
Oh, he's really ready. Yeah. He's really ready.
You know who's also ready?
Patty Mahomes.
Marcus Mariota's ready. Geno Smith is ready. Trey Lance and Jimmy G's ready. Matthew Stafford. Ooh, my arm. He's ready.
I think it might be broken.
You know who's not ready? Deshaun Watson's even ready, but the league's saying, no, you're not. The only one who's not ready is Sam Darnold, the guy who Zach replaced. Okay. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling good about it.
Mitch Eisen is awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Dickie V's ready?
He's ready.
Dickie V's ready.
Who's not ready? Who's the only team whose quarterback is not ready and won't be ready till week 4?
Didn't your coach say that Joe Flacco's a starter in this league?
It's great.
Look,
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback as your backup.
Hey, there
That's
you
a
go.
luxury. That's a luxury.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury, right, Chris?
That is a luxury.
I saw 56 pieces of luxury items last night. One of them had the Jets on it. Thank God. Thank God.
That picture is amazing just because it's like a Russian doll situation. Every ring just keeps getting larger and larger and larger.
Well, actually, if you look at it, the Patriots
look
are
at the size of those things.
The Patriots are the ones who fought, like the Ravens were the ones who started. Well, hold on a minute. There's one right before the Saints. That's the Patriots. The Patriots just started getting larger and larger and larger.
Well, there were so many trophies.
I know, they had to
fit them on there somehow.
I know. Just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now the Rams are like, we're not only going to go bigger, we're going to go deeper. It's three-dimensional.
We're going to come apart.
I swear to God, I just popped it off. It looked beautiful in there. And then I put it back on and it wouldn't go. And I thought I better.
You take it.
You say there's music?
You take it. You fix it. What?
You say there's music when you opened it?
No, it's not music.
I thought I heard you say that.
No,
like,
it was
wow.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Well, you're just giving the team next year an idea.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I'll just ask on the air. Is Geno calling in now? Because we got Mina. We got Mina Kimes here. Let's bring her out.
Just bring her.
You know what? If she talks to Geno, I think she's got questions for him. It's her team.
That's her team.
It's called Kismet.
I think she literally has a Seahawks tattoo.
Really?
I believe so.
I don't.
You don't have any tattoos.
Well, didn't Mangini get a Favre tattoo? Didn't he do that? Look that up.
Well, Rex got the Sanchez tattoo.
Dude, no, I think Mangini got a Favre tattoo.
No way.
Dude, my team. I mean, we just... That's the name of this segment. Dude, my team.
Did I tell you guys what Jerry Jones told me about Super Bowl rings?
Uh-oh.
No, it's a true story. That the other owners, and this was, mind you, this was 2010 when I got to meet him, but he told me that the other owners at that point, they pull money in to pay for the rings
Oh, yeah.
For the champions. Now, I don't know if that's something that they still do, but at that point.
Well, I don't know. Woody Johnson's return on investment on that is still needs to.
Uncle Jerry told me that is all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, Mina Kimes of the worldwide leader in sports will be next. And then your phone calls, and then at some point Geno Smith, and then definitely Billy Gardell. How about that? Mina Kimes when we come back.
Squad goals.
I understand.
And I really appreciate that, Mikey.
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, our terrestrial radio audience will rejoin us in about 90 seconds' time. That's when we'll bring in Geno Smith. Mina Kimes is kind enough to be chilling out here while we talk to Geno, and then she'll spend the rest of the hour with us. That's the way we're rolling. We're trying to roll with all the...
Have you recovered from the...
No, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I've moved on. I've moved on to the Monday nighter.
You was feeling a certain type of way just
I've moved on to the Monday night football game.
Well, you're a professional, so.
Lead pipe wielding professional.
We're riding,
Chris.
We're riding.
Let's ride.
It's a different
Stop it.
time zone.
Everybody stop it. Everybody just cease and desist.
Well, we're not doing nothing, though. What are we doing?
All right, now we're waiting for a terrestrial radio audience to return. That's what we're doing. How much time till the terrestrial radio audience returns? A minute 15. You know what we could do for a minute and 15?
Get back to my fantasy team?
Well,
sure.
I'm just not an auction draft guy. I'm not an auction draft guy.
But why, man? Because
I want to do. I just want it to be done fast.
I know,
gotta
but
get
Rich,
it done fast.
you are smart. You watch football.
Thank you.
You know your stuff. You could dominate an auction draft.
I know,
man.
but I don't want to sit there and just look at my friend and say, I'll do 52.
Well, you don't. You have
53.
It's a mechanical automated voice that does that for you. So it's more like 52. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about it.
I understand that.
But here's the deal. Like I said, we had guys who haven't seen each other. Some of us haven't seen each other
Did
in
you
like
do it in
3
person?
years.
You did it in person?
For like the first time in 3 years.
Ashton? Was Ashton there?
It was Ashton's house, yes. Oh, right.
See?
By the way, it was not his house. It was like the barn.
What do you mean? He's got a barn?
Am I putting him on blast?
I mean, using Ashton's barn?
He's got a house.
And he's got a barn. So the barn's good for you.
The barn is a barn. It's like a house, like a pool and a pond, except there's a house that Mina won't let us in. She wasn't having us in the house last night.
Okay.
So we had to all go into the barn.
See, I'm more interested in this than who you drafted. Very honest. Very, very honest. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show with our terrestrial radio outfit. The Monday night football game for week number 1 is been, for many reasons, Denver focused. And it's because Russell Wilson, who spent so much time in Seattle, is going back to Seattle. I mean, zero chill by the NFL schedule makers for Russell Wilson's first game as a Bronco to be back where he made all his bones and won a Super Bowl. There's another quarterback in the game, oh, by the way, and he's somebody who started 19 games in his first 2 years in the league and only 5 since. A major opportunity at hand for the starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is Geno Smith. How you doing, Geno?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Rich?
I am doing fine. What is going through your head with an opportunity in front of you like the one that you have, Geno Smith?
Not much, not a lot going through my head other than, working on the plan, which is what we're doing. But other than that, just taking it day by day. Monday's going to be extremely exciting for a lot of people and a lot of reasons. And so, that'll come. But, today's, not the day to worry about that. So,
no, I understand.
We're just focusing on day by day stuff.
But, I mean, for the years in which you spent with the Jets, with the Giants, obviously Seattle, hoping for an opportunity where a coach looks at you and says, you are the starting quarterback to start the season. You are our guy. You have that opportunity, and that opportunity is at hand. Have you not spent a moment thinking about that? Is it reality for you, Geno Smith?
I mean, life's so big. We think about, you're talking about football here, and I've been lucky enough to play this game, for a majority of my life. But I also have great perspective, and life is so much bigger than just one opportunity in one season. It's my 10th season, and I've had other opportunities also. So, coaches have always believed in me, and I've always believed in myself. And, this is just my 10th year, and, I see myself playing for a long time. So I'm excited. The opportunity is definitely something I've worked for and have planned for. And, but, it's not time for celebration or anything like that. For me, it's just another day of work. And that's kind of how I, kept my mind and kept myself steady throughout this whole thing. It's just, focusing on the day-by-day stuff and not really getting caught up in things outside of my control. So I'm excited. I know people around are excited. My family's excited. But, for me as the player, as the quarterback, there's business to be handled.
So when you say, in other words, Russ is saying, let's ride, you're saying, let's grind. Is that what you're saying?
Let's
Geno?
work. Let's work.
Let's
yes,
work.
Sir, let's work. Yep.
Let's work. Can we hashtag that? Do you mind if we hashtag that?
Hashtag it. I love it. I love it.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's work. Geno Smith, hashtag let's work. Okay, I like it. What is this offense going to look like? What can you tell the 12s, a little glimpse of what the offense will look like with you at the controls, Geno Smith?
Man, we got a fast offense. It starts up front. First and foremost, we got, 2 young tackles who I think the world of. I think they're going to be absolutely great for a long time in this league. We're led by a great veteran center in Austin Blythe. He's quarterbacking that thing. He's controlling the entire line. He knows what he's doing, and he's a great player. I got Gabe Jackson, another vet, just a dog up front. Phil Haynes, who I think is coming into his own. He's going to have a great year. Surrounded by weapons on the outside, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, as everyone knows. But we also got some young guys who are going to step up in D. Eskridge. We got Marquise Goodwin, adding him to the mix. I think he's going to do great things. And then a lot of the other guys in that group, they have tremendous ability, and when their number's called, they're going to be great. Our tight end group is well-rounded with Will Dissly and Noah Fant, Kobe Parkinson, just all those guys. We have a stable of backs. We have Penny, Rashard Penny, who had a great end of the year last year. And then, we got the young Ken Walker. Travis Homer had a great preseason. So did DJ Dallas. And so it's going to be a fast, physical offense. We're going to move the chains, be efficient. be great on third downs, be great in the red zone, all the situational stuff, and just really go out there and execute. Do what we're supposed to do.
No, and I'm a Michigan Wolverine, so I know that Kenneth Walker just scored on them again. So I know how good. I know how good he can be. I still see it in my dreams every night, or my nightmares. So what do you say, Geno Smith, to those who think that Russ is gone, and so are Seattle's playoff hopes because of that? What do you say to that? Because I'm sure you know that is a large narrative coast to coast in our football-loving nation. Geno.
Yeah, well, I don't really get into that type of stuff, but, football's played on the field, and it comes down to the players. And, the thing about with Russell, I mean, what he did in Seattle and, over the course of his career here can never be taken away or overshadowed because it was such greatness. Won the most games, for any quarterback in history. And so that can never be taken away from him. The things that he's done in the community here, he has long-standing relationships here. And, for that, he should always be loved in Seattle. When it comes down to the team, though, it's similar to what they had back in, 2012, 2013, when no one, thought Seattle could be what they became, which was a dynasty. And, there's still a lot of those similar faces around who started that with Coach Carroll and Mr. Snyder and the ownership. And so the formula has never changed here. It's always remained the same. I think the parts and the pieces and the players, they've come in and out. And I think Coach Carroll and the organization does a great job at making sure that everyone in the building understands the formula for the Seattle Seahawks and how to win. And that's what it takes. It takes the full team. It takes all 11 on each side of the ball, and that's what we're about. We're a close-knit team. Everybody on this team believes. Everyone knows that we can go out and win any game, no matter who we play. And it really comes down to how we execute and how bad we want it.
I've got Geno Smith, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, here on the Rich Eisen Show. And so has Pete Carroll brought that narrative that I just laid out to you up to you at all? Does he mention this at all? How has he prepared you for the season in that regard?
I've been here. This is my 4th year in Seattle. And obviously I have a new role here on the team. But Coach Carroll's remained the same. His message has been the same. And that's the one thing you got to love about a guy like that is that he's not changing. His beliefs, what he sees for this team, this organization, how we run things, they're not changing. He has a way about himself. And, he's one of the better coaches this league has seen. He created a dynasty in college football with USC and did the same thing here in Seattle. So when it comes down to it, Coach Carroll, he knows what we have as well. He's not naive about this stuff. He's been around this game for a long, long time, and he knows what it takes, and he knows what we have inside this locker room. And so I think that gives him confidence.
Geno Smith here on the Rich Eisen Show. And what's your relationship with Drew Lock? Because I'm sure in the same way that Russ is going against his former team, Drew was the one acquired in that trade for him. He'd like to be there. What is the competition like with you and he, Geno?
Competition has been great. I love Drew a lot, man. I think he's going to have a tremendous career. I think he's got a long career in this league if he wants to have it. And we've grown to get to know one another over the course of the past few months. And, what I do know about him is that he's an outstanding young man. He's just a great dude overall. Has some really tremendous beliefs and values about himself, walks and talks and does things the right way. And then he has all the ability in the world. And so for me and him, right now it's about preparing for the Broncos, focusing on week 1. And we're in this thing together, and I think that's he speaks volumes about him and who he is and his character. And, as well as his team, it really rubs off on everyone on the team.
So right before toe meets ball on Monday night, week 1, the whole league will have already been played, and then the whole country's settling in to watch you on and listen to you on Westwood One. What's going to go through your mind, Geno? Can you just flash forward a little bit to that moment for me for a second?
Yeah, that moment is going to be business as usual. None of this stuff is too big. I don't really make it out in my mind to be more than what it is. It's a game, and we're about to go out there and give it every single thing that we have. But it comes down to the day-to-day preparation. So I'm going to be focused. Knowing myself, I'm going to be extremely locked in, ready for the moment, ready to go out there and capture the moment, and that's it. And doing it for my teammates, really doing it for my teammates and all the guys around me, because it's not about myself. Never going to make it about myself. This isn't a redemption story or something like that. I've been living good for a long time. And, for me, like I said, it's just about going out there and executing, doing my job, doing what's supposed to be done, taking care of the football, leading us to points.
Did you watch the Backyard Brawl? Did you check that one out last week?
I did watch it, man. I was, I felt for, number 0. I can't remember his name, but he had a great game, and then that ball tipped off his hand. And, but overall had a great game. I mean, that was one for the ages. I mean, just the back and forth in that game, it was awesome. You
didn't cross paths with McAfee there, did you? Were you?
I didn't, but he was already a legend. By the time I got there, everybody had already Pat McAfee, Owen Smith, and Steve Slayton, Pat White, that whole group of guys. I mean, they were just legendary, already cemented in West Virginia.
What do you mean by legend with McAfee? I need that
Well,
story.
on the field, obviously, great punter. But off the field, just down on High Street and just all around the town, man, they just talk about how Pat McAfee, he was the guy. Like, he got things going. You know what I mean? He got the party started, type of deal.
Yeah, Rich Rod. He was on Rich Rod's radar screen a little bit, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, might have been.
Geno, you take care of yourself. Good luck to you on Monday night and throughout the season. Thanks again for the call. Greatly appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Rich. Thank you.
Right back at you. That's Geno Smith, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, neat stuff. Let's take a break, and then let's bring in Mina Kimes, who's been kind enough to roll with our punches here.
Let's work.
On this hashtag, let's work.
Let's work.
We should make
tweeted
a video.
It out already.
Here we go. Let's work. Let's work.
We moved your...
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, 844-204-RICH, number to dial. If you're on hold, stay on hold. In hour number 3, Billy Gardell, the diehard Steeler fan in the hit show on CBS Bob Hart's Abishola. He will be here. Chris Brockman's burning questions for teams 10 through 6 on his power rankings entering the NFL season. We'll find out who's 10 through 6. We found out already. Number 32 was the Seahawks. We didn't mention that to Geno Smith when we spoke to him. Out of respect.
It's fine.
But we're mentioning it here with a diehard Seahawk fan here from the worldwide leader in sports, one of our favorites, and great to have you here on the program in person. Mina Kimes, good to see you.
32?
Ask him.
I'm not the only one who has them dead last, by the way. Just want that on the record.
Listen, I'm not optimistic. I'm not delusional, but
they're not good.
Yeah,
They're not good.
I don't think they're going to be first on the clock either next year.
Pete Carroll team's not going to finish worse.
But I mean, we just heard from Geno there talking about how, hey, this could be like, 2012, 2011, 2013 when no one was expecting it, and then a dynasty starts. I understand that. I just remember being there on a Thursday night. I think it was 2011 because it was the Dream Team Eagles that got waxed by the Seahawks on a Thursday night in front of the 12s, and Andy Reid's Eagles just got crushed by a team that we were wondering. Yeah. That was the question about those Seahawks on our pregame show. What's the identity of this team? And I kind of feel like we're back to that square one right now.
In some ways, although to go back to 2011, Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas aren't walking through that door. But there's some young talent on that side of the ball. Geno mentioned the 2 rookie tackles. I thought both of them looked really good in the preseason.
Right.
And I think that's going to be what's really key to whether or not this offense is functional, because Geno Smith is actually, he's very accurate and decisive when he's not pressured.
Right.
When he's pressured is when things get a little bit dicey. So if the offensive line holds up, and I do think they've made some good moves, it's a very run-centric, kind of Sean McVay-inspired offense. You can see it working.
Mina Kimes from ESPN right here on the Rich Eisen Show. By the way, I saw that states the 43rd anniversary of ESPN today.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 43 years. I was 10 years old when ESPN started. You don't have to speak after that. You don't have to say anything after that. 43 years ago today. Wow. Yeah. 19 years ago in May, I was handed a cardboard box. But you're doing great right there on the worldwide leader. There's no question about it.
Thank you.
How many shows are you on?
My main show is NFL Live.
Right.
And then in addition to that, Around the Horn, First Take. Sometimes I get to fill in on Pardon the Interruption, which is super fun. And then my own podcast, The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny. Yeah,
I found it delightful, the number of people on your Twitter feed that were congratulating Lenny on the podcast.
Yeah. No,
for those who may not know who Lenny is, I know who Lenny is. You want to describe who Lenny is to people?
So Lenny is my dog. And when I launched the podcast, I felt like I needed a co-host, a male co-host. To just garner some credibility amongst certain crowds. So but I also wanted a male co-host who wouldn't talk a lot.
Neutered as well?
He is neutered.
Okay, okay, good.
He is.
Help control the pet population.
Doesn't always act like it, but
okay.
And the most common piece of feedback I get from my listeners is it should be called The Lenny Show featuring Mina Kimes.
That's right.
Ouch.
Well, that sounds like Patrick Beverley's description of his role with the Lakers, right? Lenny's podcast. You're podcasting with Lenny. He's not podcasting with you.
I think he sees it that way. Yeah. He used to do, when I first started it, I would let him ask one question.
Yeah.
And I would say it in the voice I use when I talk to him, which is humiliating, right? And I did it for maybe 4 months, but then I had Matt Hasselbeck as a guest. Growing up a Seahawks fan, I was very starstruck.
Yes.
And I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do the voice in front of Matt Hasselbeck. And that was the end of it. But people say he's been silenced.
Okay. I don't know if I could broadcast at all in the way that I talk to my 2 dogs, Halo and Dylan. It would not be very good.
What is it? What does
it sound like? I mean, I don't think anybody wants to do that.
Yeah, nobody needs to see that.
Not in front of you, not in front of Matt. Hasselbeck would not. That's the worst guy to do it in front of.
Let you live it down.
He was so. I'll never forget Matthew is one of my favorite people on planet Earth.
Great.
His family, great people and everything. So
you said family wrong.
Family.
Thank you.
So I'll never forget. him showing up to the Pro Bowl after losing Super Bowl 40 to Pittsburgh.
Cheated, but yeah.
Understand? Well, this is his point.
Illegal Super Bowl.
On NFL Total Access on NFL Network, we always had Mike Pereira, then the head of NFL refs, on our show to talk about the controversial calls from the previous Super Bowl. Mike had a previously planned vacation after Super Bowl 40, which I know I could see the look on your face. You're thinking like this was legit.
Convenient.
He didn't know that the Super Bowl would go off the wheels the way that it did. With a Roethlisberger where his helmet scored, but the ball didn't. And then that crazy penalty, obviously, on the change of possession, the holding penalty that changed everything. I think I named all three, right? I named all three.
You nailed it.
Well, I remember it like it was yesterday, especially since when I showed up to the Pro Bowl and I had not yet interviewed Pereira. And the person by the pool waiting for me and jumped on me and called us NFL Network. He said it was the NFL's Al Jazeera is what he said was NFL Network because we did not have Pereira on.
The NFL's network.
The NFL. It's right. It's what he referred to it as well. It's now the NFL's network. And he just laid into me, just crushed me. And I'm like, dude, he's going to be on next week. And then I did ask him all of that. And I don't think Mike really had very good, satisfying answers for you, Holmgren, or anybody else in the 12 Nation, So
all you have to do is Google worst officiated game in NFL history.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Chris?
Stand by.
Google worst officiated game in NFL history and see if Super Bowl 40
First page
up.
results.
First page results is what Mina Cons wants.
Music City Miracle up there, too.
How is that the worst? But the worst officiated Super Bowl
that'll work.
in history, not playoff game, in history. Chris is one of the slowest Googlers of all time, unfortunately. I'm on him all the time for that.
Not true.
I could have done that myself and gotten the answer.
You have a computer in front of
you.
you.
But I'm interviewing Mina Kimes. I want to, now.
Yeah. The Steelers had just stolen Super Bowl 40 from the Seahawks. That's one headline.
Listen. Google, has it ever lied?
You look so satisfied
I feel like I sound like such a homer. First, I said the Seahawks shouldn't be 32. I want to be clear.
Yes.
They're going to be bad.
Right.
I am not a insane person. And now this talking about the Super Bowl. We were talking about my dad earlier, who's why I'm a Seahawks fan. And every time he texts me, because he's typed it so many times, his phone autocorrects Steelers to Stealers.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So I'm not like that.
Good thing you're separated by an hour from Billy Gardell showing up in hour number 3. I've got Mina Kimes right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So just last night, my crew at NFL Network, the Game Day Morning crew, predicted Super Bowl 57's results. All 6 of us had the Bills.
Kiss of death.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Or incredibly accurate team, maybe the most accurate team on television, and I say that with respect to you. Has NFL Live chimed in on this subject matter yet at all?
We will. Actually, we haven't done Super Bowl picks. ESPN makes us all do it, and then they publish it.
Well, all 90 of them. All 90 million of you. Right, exactly.
300 analysts.
Yes.
It is pretty Bills heavy. I've seen the list.
What about you? Let's get to your pick, Mina Kimes.
Regrettably, I am also picking the Bills.
But it makes sense. It makes incredible sense.
Yeah.
They check almost every box that's required to be checked for a Super Bowl contender, if not Super Bowl winner.
It does, except for this is the thing that gives me pause, the fact that they're in the AFC, which is, as we know, it's very lopsided NFL this year. It seems like the smarter pick would be to pick one of those. I would say there's 3 NFC teams that are widely viewed as contenders, the Bucks, the Rams, and the Packers. That seems like, people might throw the Eagles into the mix, but point is, one of those teams is more likely to make it to the Super Bowl than the Bills, given the gauntlet they have to go through.
Right. So why do you like the Bills then?
Because they're stacked.
That's right.
Because they're stacked. And our last memory of Josh Allen is him looking like a super soldier. Like, this is a team that got better. Cornerback, they don't have Tre'Davious White in the first few weeks of the season. Right, yeah. But by the end of the season, what is their weakness in your mind?
Well, it could be punter now, They got
the guy from Denver. He's supposed to be good.
I don't know.
I
don't think they have one. It could be the running game if they need to run it 30 times to beat somebody? I don't know what the circumstance that would be. Again, I'm a Michigan guy. I have James Cook running away from the Michigan defense still emblazoned in my head. I don't think anybody's talking enough about what he can add to this equation for game-breaking ability, if not the ability to maybe complement Singletary. And they refuse to trade Zach Moss despite, putting him in a box. I don't know what's going on there.
Everybody, every year, people are like, okay, move on from Zach Moss. But then they, in the preseason, he looks good in camp.
He could have that A.J. Dillon role. I don't know.
He's strong.
It's possible.
He's kind of good short yardage option. I mean, I think you're right. James Cook in the run game is going to matter a lot because every single team in the NFL is going to just beg the Bills to run on them, which is something all the high-powered offenses like the Chiefs ran into last year. The problem is
Josh Allen's the one who might run on
I know.
them too.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm choosing the Bills.
I guess maybe the offensive line has some change. That could be an issue. Right tackle's a little bit of a question mark, but everywhere it matters, they are exceptional.
Mina Kimes here on the Rich Eisen Show. You also call preseason action for the Rams. What have you seen up close on this team that you can pass along to us to say that they have the chance to repeat? They're in that spot.
I would say during the preseason, not a lot because Sean McVay is allergic to playing starters. But last year he said that, and by the time you got to the Super Bowl, you had guys who played in the preseason on rookie contracts having to step up in big moments like Nick Scott, safety, Ernest Jones, linebacker, because the way the Rams are built, as you know, is exceptionally top-heavy. Mm-hmm. So they need those later-round draft picks to play significant roles. And this year, with the departure of Von Miller, you need young players to step up in the pass rush. Darius Williams, starting cornerback's gone. That means, again, young players like David Long Jr. are going to have to contribute. I would say, though, Allen Robinson was probably the story of camp. And I think in this opener in particular, with the issues at cornerback, Allen Robinson is the guy I'm going to be watching to see if he can really play a big role in this offense.
So is it just the general sense of the Rams are a great offensive team, and Allen Robinson has been in offensive purgatory pretty much his entire career since leaving the campus in Penn State? Is it as simple as 2 + 2 = 4 there?
I think he brings like an element to this offense they haven't really had, which is that X receiver, that contested catch guy, that red zone threat, which I think, they've been... The 50-50
ball guy?
The 50-50 balls, and Matthew Stafford throws those balls, and I think...
Calvin Johnson's in the Hall of Fame.
Perfect, yes. One of the few wide receivers that I'm okay throwing the goal line fade to, in the NFL, right? So I think, it was a huge addition for them, and our last memory of him is pretty bad from last year, but if there's any team I think you'd bounce back on, it would be Los Angeles.
Okay, so who's your team in the NFC? Is it the Rams coming on?
I've got the Bucs. I think that's chalk. Is that chalk? Are the Bucs the
favorite?
It is
not chalk.
Their win total is actually really high. They have a 11.
That's who I chose too. I chose the Bills over the Bucs because I chose the Bills over the Bucs because I do think, despite up front that issue in front of Brady, and that is obviously the kryptonite for any quarterback as well as Brady, certainly one that's 45. Pressure up the middle, always a problem. I think Brady knows how to handle it. He knows how to get rid of it. If Godwin is as healthy as it does appear, although he was wearing that "Don't Touch Me" jersey just today, if Godwin is ready, along with Evans, I love the addition of Russell Gage. Everyone's saying Julio Jones is in fact drinking from the fountain of youth. You got Fournette. You've got the rest of that defense. I do believe that they have the horses to go back again.
I totally agree. And the interior pressure thing is real, but Tom Brady last year got the ball out quicker than any quarterback other than Ben Roethlisberger, who got it out lightning quick, obviously.
That's self-preservation, right?
Yeah, it was self-preservation. And with Brady, though, it is a little bit of self-preservation, but also, he is the greatest pre-snap quarterback in the NFL. He does everything for the offensive line. You don't need the center to do things you would for a young quarterback. So, I'm a little bit concerned, but I'm not that concerned. And I love the weapons, as you said.
Yeah, I do like them quite a bit. Who do you have winning the AFC West? Mina Kimes.
I've gone back and forth on this so many times.
Okay.
And I'm back with the Chiefs. I was tempted by the Chargers, the off-season's darlings, I feel like, of NFL media, and I get it, and I love them, and I love Justin Herbert and the additions they've made. I just think watching the Chiefs offense in the preseason, and they actually did play in the preseason, which is bizarre.
They sure did, didn't they?
They look awesome.
Right.
They look amazing. I'm not concerned. I like the way they're evolving post Tyreek Hill? Are you got a little concern in your eyes?
No, I do.
Just wait till you hear who he has.
No.
Who do you have?
I'm with you, and I have even said I think the Chiefs' offense has the opportunity to be better than last year. It's definitely going to be better than what people think. I don't understand the Mahomes shade from unnamed defensive coordinator in the Athletics saying he plays street ball, and then not one but two of his receivers deciding to talk up their new quarterbacks at his expense, even though one of them's Aaron Rodgers and doesn't require to be talked up the way the Sammy Watkins did. I don't get that. That said, I'm on the Raiders.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You're the first person I've met who said the Raiders.
And I have been saying it since the minute Chandler Jones signed. The minute that Devontae Adams joined and Jones signed, and again, another offensive line concern for me. They've got 5 running backs for a reason as well. But man, you tell me some team that can say, all right, cover Devontae Adams. And when you do that, cover Darren Waller. And then when you do that, cover Hunter Renfrow. And then a coach who's got a second crack at it, who knows how to put them all in a spot. And Derek Carr, one of the most maligned quarterbacks out there, and Max Crosby with Chandler Jones potentially taking some assistance away from Max Crosby's blockers. I kind of dig it. I dig the Raiders. And we haven't seen what Devontae Adams looks like. You want to talk about preseason and not seeing anybody.
That's true. I can tell you.
J.C. Jackson isn't playing in week 1. Here comes Devontae Adams. Hello. And there's, that's a home game for the Raiders this weekend up the road.
It's a problem week 1. I love the pass rush. The secondary in this division, it's concerning. And I like the fact they brought in Patrick Graham. There's going to be a schematic change on that side of the ball. I think he's a really brilliant defensive play caller, future head coach. But I just don't know if he's got the horses back there to keep up with Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson.
Maybe so. But I think the Chiefs make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders win the division. And then I need to see what your burning question for the Chargers that you uncorked yesterday says it all. Which is,
can they just do not Charger stuff and live up to their potential?
It's that simple. Yeah. Like, can they avoid the Charger-like things?
Yeah. Missed field goals, weird special teams,
fourth downs,
fumbling on the goal line like Melvin Gordon did 19 times 3 years ago in Tennessee. That sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Are they? I mean, they are. I think have a good case for being the most cursed team in the NFL. So.
They're so stacked,
welcome to the New York Jets.
Herbert's amazing.
Before I let you go, who's your MVP? Is it Josh Allen too?
I like Patrick Mahomes for this because I think, as you know, MVP is a narrative award. And I think
I love it.
If he's able to produce at the level that I think you and I both think this offense will, with Tyreek Hill gone, the lion's share of the credit is going to go to Mahomes. And I think the voters will like it.
What 12 wins? That's what is going to be required? At least 12 and 5?
Yeah.
In that division, toughest division in football. They don't skip a beat on offense. He spreads the ball around. He plays dynamite street ball, right? and he wins the MVP. That's what you're saying. Essentially saying.
The lone anonymous defensive play caller will be in shambles.
It's just the anonymous play caller, the defensive coordinator, saying that he plays street ball after his first 2 options. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? And I do love the Chiefs' offensive line, rebuilt offensive line. I mean, Creed Humphrey is an animal up front. So I agree with you. Go for it, Chris. Got 2 minutes
Mina,
left.
who's got the best chance to be this year's Bengals in your mind? Kind of out of nowhere, they were such a long shot going into the season last year and make the Super Bowl.
And then just circumstances and stars aligning. Yeah. Well, I would say out of nowhere is tough because I was gonna say the Colts have like a Bengals-like feel to me where everyone kind of assumes that like they'll be fine, but I don't think people think of them as a Super Bowl team. And I think because of the division, because I think people are underrating the defense, and because I feel like Matt Ryan still has it, all of a sudden it could be the divisional round, and we're like, whoa, the Colts are still in
here.
this. I think that's entirely plausible.
But they're not like from the depths of the Bengals. That's part of the reason why you're
from the depths of the Bengals all the way to the top.
Dolphins? They're not even that deep either. Okay.
People think they're going to make the playoffs.
I'll throw one out there. I'm very curious, and the opener is going to tell us a lot about what the Vikings look like. Speaking of like kind of cursed vibes, I think this offense with Kevin O'Connell is going to look a lot better than it has
I'm
in
in on the
recent
Vikings
years.
too.
Irv had Kirk Cousins winning the MVP.
That's a little crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much.
Yeah. Like,
He said Justin Jefferson was his bold prediction. Justin Jefferson is going to break all of Cooper Kupp's records from last year. And the Vikings win the division.
Justin Jefferson in the Cooper Kupp role, though, is going. I mean, the yards are going to be there. So, offensive player of the year. That feels more realistic than MVP.
So your podcast is where all podcasts are acquired. Your podcast with Lenny. Your dog.
With Lenny.
Okay. Say hi to everyone at the Worldwide Leader for me, will you please?
I will. On our 43rd birthday.
43rd birthday. Hey, Billy Gardell is going to be joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Your burning questions, Chris Brockman. Our phone lines are lit. We're going to go to hour number 3 with 844-204-RICH, the number to dial in mind. Mina Kimes, thank you for being here on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for agreeing with me so much.
You got it. Well, we're smart people. Oh, we got another minute plus here on our YouTube stream. We're smart people. That's the way it works. Plus,
why are you so high on Matt? You've been one of the big Matt Ryan kind of defenders in the last couple of years.
Last year he was playing behind, paper mache, right? And if you actually watch, he was actually still pretty accurate. He doesn't have the arm strength that he used to, but he throws with such anticipation. Pre-snap, he's still all got it. I was actually really impressed by his pocket movement, despite his advanced years. Coupled with Frank Reich, who I think is still one of the best offensive minds in the NFL in a superior situation, I think he's going to play really well.
Okay. So you're local. Hopefully you can come in here anytime you want. And the next time you do come here, can I see a picture? There we go. Can we?
Lenny.
Can we get Lenny? Can we bring Lenny?
You might have to throw him a few bones.
Literally or figuratively?
Maybe both.
Okay.
Maybe both. I'm his representation.
I mean, he doesn't bark. I mean, if he's a podcasting dog, clearly he knows when the lights are on, right? I mean, so
he'll come if you do the voice for your dogs on air.
Go. You got 30 seconds.
I'm not doing it.
Just do it. I'll do the voice.
I'm not doing it.
Voice off.
I'm not going to do it.
Come on, Rich.
Wow.
Come on, Rich. Do the dog voice.
No, I'm not doing the dog voice.
You almost did it.
This is the dog voice. This is my dog voice.
No, it's not.
There are none others like it, but this one is mine. Maybe next time.
All right.
It's called a tease.
Whack.
Yeah, please come back, Mina Kimes. This has been a delight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Everybody follow Mina Kimes on Twitter. I do as well. You will be smarter for it. We're back with Billy Gardell and your phone calls in hour number 3 in a moment.
there's no hope.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
We all know what's going to happen to the Cowboys ahead of time, and you'll be chronicling it.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
If they're healthy, you watch. They might not lose a game.
The Rich Eisen Show. Earlier on the show, ESPN college football analyst Ryan Leaf. Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. ESPN NFL analyst Mina. Still to come, actor and comedian Billy Gardell. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Yes, it is. Hour number 3 of the Rich Eisen Show. We just had a great hour number 2 talking with Geno Smith, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, and also with Mina of ESPN. She just left our studio. Billy Gardell is arriving, the diehard Steeler fan and star of all those fun, terrific television shows that he's been on, including Mike and Molly, and now Bob Hart's Abishola on CBS. He'll be here in studio in about 18 minutes' time, and I will say the dreaded 8-letter word to him, as it is a 4-letter word to everybody in Pittsburgh, apparently, Acrisure. That'll be great. That's coming up on the program. Chris Brockman and Jay Felly.
Hey, Rich.
Or as Ryan Leaf called you, Heller, in hour number 1. I caught that. Didn't mean to do it right now, but it's okay. All good. If you missed that, it's on our YouTube page, youtube.com.
He always has gotten your name wrong, though.
Rich Eisen Show.
So close.
And TJ Jefferson, good to see you over there, sir.
Good to be seen, Rich Eisen.
All right. Before we get to your burning questions, Chris Brockman, you have been counting down from 32 all the way up to 1, your power rankings,
top
preseason
10,
power
baby.
rankings.
Let's go.
We have now entered the realm of the top 10, and you have a burning question surrounding each and every team. We'll get to 10 through 6 in a moment, but let's go to phone lines. Folks have been kind to hang on and wait to talk to us at 844-204-RICH. Let's give another shot to our friend who called in from Japan. Zach, are you there in Japan? Uh-oh. You there, Zach?
I think he fell asleep.
Okay, there he goes. Let's what is happening?
Is he doing a bit, or is
I don't know.
Did he really fall asleep?
We're unfortunately done with Zach in Japan. Unfortunately, Jack. Unless it is
It's 3 in the morning there.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 3. It's literally 3 a.m.
Let's put it back on.
He may
put it back on. I won't even say if he's there.
He may have
Hold on.
actually.
Let's listen in. Is he there? Zach, you there? Zach, hold on.
No, he legit fell asleep. It's 3 in the morning.
Don't hang up. Just let the phone.
Keep it going. We'll check in with Zach.
Check in with him later.
Okay.
This is incredible.
Put it back on hold. That's a first. That's a first. We've been at this almost 8 years. This is great.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Snoring?
Okay.
My man's got the phone up to his chin.
He's got a little apnea. Let's let him get through. Let's let him get through his REM state. We'll check back in a moment.
At least we know he's alive.
All we know is Jack in Colorado. All you have to be is awake, and you've got the best phone call of the segment. Are you there, Jack?
Yes, Rich.
Hey! Good afternoon, Jack. How are you today?
Good afternoon.
What's going on?
I will say you had a better Saturday than me, being a Colorado State graduate. But
yeah, man. I hear you. I'm a happy guy. I'm sorry to say, but what's on your mind today, Jack?
Yeah, my question to you was about Russell Wilson as a good old Broncos fan. Curious about his claim saying maybe 5 years, 10 to 12 in his introductory press conference, but how much does that hold weight, do you think? Do you think that he can last that long? I know with Aaron Rodgers and Brady, they're more pocket passers. So
Of course. I mean, again, I am very bullish and high on the Russell Wilson acquisition by Denver. I mean, he was the number 1 quarterback available, and the sweepstakes were significant for his services. No question about it. And the Broncos won it. And why wouldn't you want to win his services? Because he's still a young man, certainly in now what is becoming an older man's game at the quarterback position, which we never thought was possible. He's 34, and he is a division-winning machine in his career, and he's also a making the playoffs and making sure you win a playoff game machine. It's just a new spot. It's a new spot, a new place with a new team and new teammates and a new head coach. who's never done it before, with a new system and all of that. And I think it will take some adjustments, which means I don't think he will win a division that's the deepest in the league, which is why I'm taking another team other than the Broncos. So put it all together, long term, what a major stroke this is for the Denver Broncos. Certainly when they were on the sailing block, too. I mean, you get a new owner, you say you've got to face the franchise that's one of the best to have done it in the last 10 years, and he's got maybe another 10 years to go. Sold, I believe it.
Yeah, I just think, the injury was a fluke with his finger, but he definitely has. As a Broncos fan, I want him here for 12 more years, but we'll see.
We'll see. Thanks for the call. Greatly appreciated, Jack. I mean, we had Geno Smith on before. Geno, as we all know, got the start last year when Russ hurt his finger, snapped a consecutive start streak of 149 straight games. And Geno is the guy, I guess, that's he's a streak snapper. Don't forget, he's the guy that Ben McAdoo turned to, and what was that? Back in the day, 2017, when Eli was 2-9 for the Giants, and he's just like, okay, Eli, 210 straight starts, you're sitting. I don't know how John Mara let that happen in a million years.
Let's go back to Zach.
Yeah, all right, everybody be quiet. Put him back on.
Zach, are you there?
Zach, you there?
Zach, wake up.
Zach, wake up.
Hold on.
Zach, wake up.
Zach, it's the Rich
This is
Eisen show.
insane.
Yeah, is that his air conditioning in the background?
I don't know, man.
Los Angeles,
This
Zach.
is the weirdest thing we've ever done. Joseph in San Diego. It's not creepy.
point.
We're not creeping. Joseph in San Diego. Let's take him. Line 4. What's up, Joseph?
Rich,
What's going on, brother?
unlike that guy from Japan and Zach Wilson, I'm ready. Just wanted to let you know that.
Well done.
I want to talk about the AFC West, and I want to attempt to save you from the Raiders cliff you're so precariously teetering on at the moment.
Goodness gracious.
Just attempt.
Okay.
So I think all these teams are very good. They're going to be very competitive outside the division. I'm thinking they hover around 7-4, plus or minus a game.
Mm-hmm.
So in division is going to be really important. I'm not sure the Raiders' defense can hold up against the other offenses. And it's also worth noting that I have no idea how good the coach is going to be.
I don't know.
So
let me just hop in here. McDaniels, I think, will have a second act that will be successful. I agree. I absolutely think he will know whatever happened in Denver previously, and he was young and brash, and it's a different guy showing up. And then secondly, let me just ask you a question. The best way for a team to stop an offense, to make sure that they don't put too many points on the board, what would just be, just off the top of your head, the most important way to stop that offense?
We would need really good DBs.
Well, how about this? And then let me continue leading the witness. The best way to help your defensive backs would be what? How would it be?
Well, you'd probably need a run game. Pass rush.
Yes, indeed. You can't get the ball to a wide receiver that might be difficult to cover with your less than cornerbacks if the quarterback is on his ass. And Max Crosby and Chandler Jones are coming to hunt. And we'll see what happens. Thanks for the call. Greatly appreciate it. That's it for me. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. And by the way, for somebody who's now come up with 10 things I've been trying to talk myself into this year, tomorrow I want to go through all of those 10 things before the season starts. I had 5 of them in June and 5 of them last month, or earlier, or later in July. I don't know when the other 5 items I was trying to talk myself into. Last part of that bunch was Kevin O'Connell's going to unlock Kirk Cousins. How many people have you heard, sir, in the last few days, gents, on that Viking train? Lots of people.
Choo. I'm about to be on it.
I was the one who was stoking that engine with a little bit of coal.
I got to be honest, though. I've got 3 good friends who are Vikings fans, and I sent them the clip last week.
I know, and they're like, lay off.
They were like asking if you got drug tested before.
Let's see how it goes.
Well, they know the trapdoor. They're a trapdoor fan base too.
And they were all, and it was all negative towards their quarterback. All 3 of them said the same thing. It was.
I can't get out of my head what Daniel Jeremiah said about Kevin O'Connell is that he's from the McVay-Shanahan system, and every single one of those coaches must pay fealty to Kirk Cousins. They all look at him as the perfect quarterback for their system. Right? Don't forget, man, when Niners acquired Jimmy G, when Brady either did or did not order the code red in New England at that trade deadline all those years ago, and they acquired Jimmy G in that trade deadline, and the idea was they're not going to trade for anybody because they're just waiting for Cousins to become available because that's who Kyle Shanahan wanted, right? Don't forget that. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. Chris Brockman, not only has your 10 burning or 30, one burning question. Okay. I'll start again. Chris Brockman.
Thank you.
Not only has your burning question segment caught fire amongst our fan base and our YouTube page and everybody, where you are ranking the teams 1 through 32 in the NFL and counting them down from 32 to 1 with a burning question for each team attached. Not only is that caught the fancy of our fan base, it's caught the eye of Westwood One ad sales.
All right.
This one's sponsored, sir.
Let's go.
You can listen to the NFL and the NFL app on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One, which brings you Chris Brockman's Burning Questions, 10 through 6.
Brockman's Burning Questions.
Now that's a fire.
All right, Christopher, music, please.
I don't know why I do the Night King thing.
It's wonderful.
All right, shout out everyone in the YouTube comments who I know will be positive and supportive. Number 10, the Indianapolis Colts, guys. Indianapolis Colts. I do like them to win this division. And my question for them is, does Matt Ryan have a Brady Stafford type season in him? Older quarterback going to a new team immediately takes him to the Super Bowl. I don't think the Colts are going to go to the Super Bowl, but I do expect them to make the playoffs and probably win a playoff game. And so does Matt have that in him at age 36?
The Colts tried this with Phillip Rivers a couple of years ago, but Phillip was his needle was pinning a little bit more towards E than F. And we'll see if Matt Ryan could do it, because boy, do they have that MVP candidate in a running back in Jonathan Taylor, and the rest of that defense with Shaq Leonard, and the rest of them. Best offensive line Matt Ryan's played in front of, I think you could say, in his career.
Yeah.
And if the weapons can shake loose and Ryan have that type season, I think your burning question spot on. That's number 10, huh? Colts are top 10.
Number 9, we were just talking about this team, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
The Minnesota Vikings. I'm sucking down the Viking juice this year. I'm really high on them as well. And as always, Rich, you're going to notice a theme in the 10 through 6, guys. In the big games, which Kirk Cousins is going to show up. It's really plain and simple. This team is going to ride or die with the quarterback.
All right, instead of the burning question, I must ask you the question. 9 for the Vikings. 9.
They have a really good roster. They have one of the best offenses in the NFL. You could say they have the best wide receiver. You could make a case they have one of the best running backs. And when Kirk Cousins is on, don't forget, guys, he had a really good statistical year last year.
You have already named every AFC West team not named Kansas City.
Correct.
So you have the Vikings as the second best team in the AFC West if they were playing in it. You've got them above the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos on your list. You're very high on the Vikings.
Very high on the Vikings.
Look at you. Okay.
Very high on the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 8, I think this team does win the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, and it comes down to the quarterback as well. Will Jalen Hurts be the quarterback the national media and fantasy experts think he can be? He's very high on every quarterback. If you haven't had your fantasy draft list yet, you're going to notice that Hurts is really high up. A lot of these experts think that he can be amazing this year. Of course, they went out and got A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith. They are loaded with offensive weapons for him. And can he do it? That's the question.
That is all about the Eagles because the roster is loaded and they drafted very well. I love the addition of Gardner Johnson. Late in the game, I think they do win the division, and it is a Hurts-related question, no doubt about it.
Yeah, kind of like I said, it's all about the quarterback.
7. Here we go.
Number 7. Now, I think this team can win the AFC North. I don't know if they're going to, but I think it's going to be neck and neck with the other team, and I'm giving the other team respect because of what they did last year. Number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they are going to be really good this year, and it just comes down to how long will Lamar's lack of a contract continue to be a thing. And look, they can say after week 1 it's not going to be a thing, but it is going to loom over this team all season long.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
Disagree.
I know you. I obviously I know you do. It's such a burning question. I get it. I hear you. I'm pushing back. I'm saying that Lamar's a different. Everyone says he's a different cat. I think once this thing hits an impasse and he's like, that's the deadline, we could keep bringing it up. Are you upset that there's no contract? Are you upset? I think it'll just be in this rearview mirror and off he goes. And maybe it'll be a relief to everyone else there that it's not being brought up in every conversation. Because it will be brought up to him in every conversation that he has when he sits down for any national television partner. If he's kind enough to call back into this show, it will be asked of him. I don't think it's going to mean a damn thing. But you've got him pretty high on your list, man. 7.
Yeah, just look at what they had last year. I mean, statistically, analytically, it was the worst injury season maybe of all time. So
maybe the most unavaluable team outside of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So you just consider what they have all coming back. You got Lamar kind of with this big chip on his shoulder, and so to speak, with the contract. You know, he could have another MVP type season, and if he does, they're going to be really high the whole year.
Number 6.
Last one. They are at this number just because of what they don't have anymore and kind of the unknowns offensively. I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, we know Aaron Rodgers is spectacular, back-to-back MVPs. My question, will he be able to conjure up magic to make chicken salad with this offense? Because it is really kind of an unknown at the wide receiver position. We know that Aaron Jones is great. We know that A.J. Dillon has great in him.
Their defense is remarkable,
and then the defense is very, very improved. So, weirdly, it's going to be kind of on Aaron Rodgers to kind of will this team to another 12, 11, 13 wins. So, we'll see.
And bubbling beneath the surface is Rich Bisaccia fixing the problems that really sunk him
in the playoffs,
special teams,
for sure.
You know? Yeah. So, that leaves, if I'm not mistaken, Bills, Rams, Chiefs, Bucks, and Bengals. Your top 5.
Correct. Top 5.
All right. We just find out tomorrow what the order is. Fantastic. Well done. That's Chris Brockman's burning questions as he's counting down the top teams in the NFL with a burning question attached to each. We'll take a break and can't wait to get the answer to this burning question for Billy Gardell. What do you think of Acrisure Stadium? Nice photograph. Look at him right there. Like the captain. We'll be his Tennille when we come back on The Rich Eisen Show. Been a while since we had this man on the show. Season 4 of Bob Hart's Abishola premieres Monday, September 19th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Available to stream live and on demand on Paramount Plus. And then new episodes are going to air every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on those platforms. Thrilled to have back here, big time Pittsburgher himself, none other than Billy Gardell. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me back. I was worried. I thought I was in trouble.
No, we'll get to that in a second, but I want to get to a clip first.
Yeah.
This is Bob Hart's Abishola on CBS, starring in part Billy Gardell. Check it out. Good stuff. Just shows what an incredible actor you are that you portray a Lions fan.
Brother, they've twisted me up on television. I've had to have a Lions jersey. I've had to have a Cubs jersey.
Oh my!
I should be getting awards.
But you survived it. Season 4 coming to CBS.
Rich. The check helps.
Yeah. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, terrestrial radio outfit with Billy Gardell. Bob Hart's Abishola premiering Monday, Season 4 on CBS. On September the 19th. It is great to see you, man. You look awesome.
Thank you, brother. I went from a young Jackie Gleason to an old Paul Newman. I don't know what happened. I look like the color of money. I'm back.
That's right. The color. You do have that mustache going on.
I need those
now.
big tan sunglasses.
You do?
Let me get a pair of those. My wife will love that.
Oh, my gosh. How much have you dropped?
130 pounds. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had to make a change, man. That first I got type 2 diabetes, and I was on medicine for that. And then it's in your head, and I struggled with my weight my whole life. But when COVID hit, I thought that could have been the end of me. No joke. Because when they pulled up that list of like conditions, like overweight, asthma, smoker,
diabetes,
I had everything except over 65. Like I was across the bingo card on that. And that thing was outside doing push-ups looking for me. So I told my wife, we make it through this and they get a medicine for this thing, I'm going to make a big change in my life. So I did, man. I faced down. I went and had that weight loss surgery, which I'm not telling anybody they should do that. That was just what I needed to do because I had gotten so big it hurt to exercise. And so I did it, and I did everything they told me to do, and I follow it daily, and it's a new way of life. It's weird. The fatty brain is still in there. Like I'm a constant hostage negotiator between my little tiny stomach now and my brain, because my stomach's like, we could probably eat 2 more pieces of that, and my stomach's like, no, we're full, and then my brain's like, well, we've never listened to him before. Why are we starting now? So I still have to do that, but it's been such a gift, man. It's. I feel like I'm free.
Yeah,
I feel like I got free of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, when you get over 50, you start doing, and I know you know this. When you have kids, you do that dad math.
Yes.
Like, if I can live to 75, then he'll be 40, and you start thinking about like, how can I put some miles on the clock? So that was what made this decision.
I just got a new car, and my son loves it so much. My 11-year-old son loves it so much.
Right.
He said, Dad, can I have the car when you're done driving? That's what he said to me.
When they
Billy,
take your license from you, Dad,
that's what he said.
And you're not allowed to use matches, can I drive your car?
That's what he said. When you're done driving. And I'm like, holy crap.
Well, now I got to ask. Can I ask what kind of car it is?
We'll talk about it.
Come on. What's it?
No.
Come on. You're a humble guy. Say it.
It's a nice electric vehicle.
Oh, you want electric?
I want electric, yes.
You want I can't do it yet. I'm working on it. My wife wants electric.
Okay.
I'm still a gas. I got to hear the car when I turn it on. I'm a hot rod guy. I never know when the hell the car's on. She's got that.
I don't know. It's 105 degrees here, Billy.
She's got that. I'm working. Hey, listen, man. I filled the pool in. I'm doing my part. I got fake grass. What do you want from me? Can I have my car? My wife got that electric Mustang, and I never know when it's on. I don't. You
need to hear it coming.
Is that on? Does it have a vroom vroom noise? Is there an app for an engine that I can know that's on? So,
Billy Gardell here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, brother, let's jump into it.
Yeah, man.
Mitchell Trubisky on Tuesday.
Love it.
Name the starter.
Love this kid. Absolutely should be the starter. 3 reasons. 1, he's tough. He played with trash in Chicago. There was nothing around him in Chicago. So 1, the kid knows how to run for his life. And he can, which is going to bode us well because the Steelers look great except for that offensive line. Their nickname should be Swiss cheese. There are holes everywhere, and they're tragic. However, I think there's time for them to glue, and I think Trubisky can give them that time. 2, after playing a tough time in Chicago, he went up to Buffalo. I think he probably got some of that winning culture on him, the way they do things up there. Plus, With a name like Trubisky walking into Pittsburgh, I mean, come on. He's a suit made in heaven. I think he's going to be fine, and that'll give Pickett time to settle into what the future will be.
I thought it was interesting that Tomlin upgraded him over the weekend from 3 to 2. Because I thought, okay, makes sense to put Trubisky 1 and Mason Rudolph 2 when you're going to Cincinnati to start the season. Like, what if Trubisky gets jarred for a moment? You might as well have an old hand who's seen this and been there and done that. And then week 2 is Belichick coming in.
Well, of course. But I think the thought behind that is, hey, maybe we keep the new car third. Yes. And then we put the car that we're using right now out front, and then we got the jalopy if we have to throw Mason into the war. Right. You know what I mean? Because he's seen some action. So I think they want to protect Pickett, but I think Trubisky's going to be fine. I really have a lot of faith in this kid.
What's your definition of fine?
I say 10 wins. I think the Steelers pull 10 wins and possibly a playoff slot.
That's the issue is 10 wins. I don't know if 10 is going to get you home.
These days, right? Yeah.
Well, the AFC West might beat each other up, or you're going to get 3 teams that have 11 dubs, and then, that's a problem. And then you think maybe somebody else can have another 11-win season. Maybe the Ravens are just as good.
I think the Ravens have fallen off a little bit. And, Cleveland takes care of itself. We don't even have to play them. They're just...
That is,
so bad.
In case anybody wants to, maybe just like the sound of your voice doesn't somehow convince that you're a real big-time diehard Steeler fan, I do want to say this, and you had made mention to it when I went and I saw you in our green room, that you were the only guest in the history of this program to say, I can't make my appearance today because I lost my voice at the Browns game, screaming at them.
I called you the day before too. I thought I'm on the outs, man. I thought I was blacklisted.
Actually, no. I was
blacklisted.
You actually went up in my book. You went up in my book. I am more than happy to fill that segment last minute because I heard it in your voice.
It was bad.
I heard the passion. I heard the scratchiness, the throatiness.
Yeah. I sounded like Tom Waits when I called it. Rich, I don't think I'm going to be able to make the show.
It was worse. It was worse. I'm like, oh God, are you okay? Are you sick?
But I felt bad.
This
is one of my favorite stops, so I felt bad. I couldn't come. I thought it was going to be. I thought McConaughey would have my seat again.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're just a diehard. You only know 100. One speed when it comes to this.
100. I can't go. Well, I can't go to the games and not be involved. Like I lose my mind. I lose my mind at home. So when you're at the game, that intensity, that'd be like you going to the big house.
Yeah,
you're not holding back. You can't. No, it's infectious. It's in your blood. You just want to be. You want to be with the crowd and those moments, and And then there's nothing better than screaming obscenities at the opposing team.
Certainly, if they're the Cleveland Browns.
Not above that.
Is that number one?
Especially.
That's number
Cleveland,
one?
I'm old. So I'm from the original timeline, so Cleveland's who I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore's like a half a game back. I give them about a half a game back. Yeah.
And the Browns have, the
Browns are the Browns. If there's a bad decision to be made, you can count on that front office, can't you? Huh? What's the worst possible thing we can do here, fellas? Hey, guys, we were in the playoffs. We're going to have to break that up. Just count on they take care of themselves. You don't have to worry about them. That's the sweet thing about it. Yeah. Although I like the city of Cleveland. I do. I actually enjoyed playing there, and we had a lot of fun with the crowd back and forth. I would purposely tell Nick, who runs just a great comedy club in Cleveland, and he said I would make them say from Pittsburgh, Billy Gardell, just to get the crowd booing before I walked out on stage. Not the brightest guy, but still fun.
So of course,
yeah, it was a good interchange.
You could see it whenever there's a Steeler that goes into the Hall of Fame. And they take over Ohio. There's a lot of eye rolls. There's a lot of eye rolls.
Well, it gives me great pleasure that there's a wing of Steelers in Ohio. And, the Browns have like 3 or 4 in there. That's how it should be.
The Steelers wing in the bus
room.
We
have a wing. Yeah, right. It's pretty amazing.
I know. When Polamalu went in after the pandemic and he showed up, he had COVID actually, and it looked like he might not be there to make the speech, but then he did. The terrible towels in the stands are just
we travel well, and I think it's because when our city shut down from industry, when all the steel mills closed, it became a college town. They very smartly said, okay, well, we got colleges, let's be a college town. And then since then, they've built a medical community and a film industry, and they have a very green footprint in Pittsburgh now. But they're great at evolving. But I think people got their education there and then moved out because there wasn't a lot of jobs. So you got these Steeler fans sprinkled. Every away game I go to the Steelers, we take up about a quarter of the stadium. And I love that. Yeah. I love that. Like Cincinnati has ads on usually, and I bet they're doing it this week. Please don't sell your tickets to a Steeler fan. Please don't, because they know we're going to show up. And I love that. I love that we're mobile.
Billy Gardell here from Bob Hart's Abishola on CBS, Season 4, premiering on Monday, September 19th. We'll talk about that in a second here on The Rich Eisen Show. I have a word that I'm going to mention to you. It's like I don't usually do word association.
It's like a Winter Soldier thing. This is going to activate me. All right, go ahead.
I think this is a triggering word. I've been told by many people who are Steelers fans this is a triggering word, and the word is Acrisure.
It's awful. No, there ain't a Yinzer. There ain't a Yinzer in Pennsylvania that's going to get that name right. They'll be calling it Ambisol and Aerosol, and no one's saying meet me down at Acris. No one's going to say any of that. Look, I get it. It's business. But they're going to refer to it as Heinz. If that company, which is a Michigan company, wanted to expand in Pittsburgh, I think the move would have been to say, how do you say it? Acrisure? I can't even say it. Acrisure?
Acrisure. Let me call it up to make sure.
I think that's it. Acrisure. But they should have named it, Rocky Blair said this, they should have named it Art Rooney Stadium, brought to you by Acrisure. Because then it would have been a friendly, like, wow, this company came in, they paid the leasing rights, and they gave a little nod to the city. But I don't know about, I don't see Yinzer saying that. I see us getting that wrong.
Well, all I know is that Acrisure is like the name of this company that when you read their description of who they are, you still don't know what they do.
I don't know what it is. I thought it was a deodorant at first. Didn't it sound like that? Are you sweating?
Let me
use Acrisure. Like what? What are we doing?
Oh my God! So let me just read to you what it says here.
All right.
I'm reading to you. It's an insurance company. Okay.
All right.
Acrisure is a financial technology and insurance company. The company was initially created to acquire insurance companies and has since expanded nationally with intelligence-driven financial services solutions for insurance, reinsurance, real estate services, cyber insurance services, and more. Do you know, do you have something in your life where you would call to figure out what that is?
I don't have any of those things. I don't know what
But ketchup, you understand.
Ketchup I got. Heinz, not Hunt's. It's the difference between Ohio and Pennsylvania. They're eating Hunt's ketchup and drinking Pepsi. They got it backwards. It's Heinz and Coke. These are simple fundamentals in life, Rich. Simple fundamentals.
Maybe that's why folks in Pittsburgh are kind of losing their minds over this thing. I think
Pittsburgh, but eventually it'll get to this. The Yinzer settle will be, well, what do they call whatever they want if we can get another offensive lineman? That's how I feel about it. So, whatever.
I wonder what they've done with the ketchup bottle that they took down.
I like to think
that's a mystery. Where is it?
I love to think that there's some. I love to think there's some Yinzer that has those in his backyard. You know what I mean? Just some dude's like, yeah, I got these down in the stadium. Chucky helped me put them out back. We're going to fill them with Kool-Aid. All right. That'll be all right with me.
I think I heard that they're keeping them in the park somewhere. They're going to sponsor the Red Zone or something.
I don't see how they couldn't. That was such a great staple. So, and it's so indicative to the area.
By the way, great use of that because that people here in Los Angeles losing their minds that the downtown it's not Staples.
Crypto now
it's
or
crypto.com. Don't forget the .com.
Crypto.com.
Yeah,
now, do you do the cryptocurrency?
No, sir. No, sir. He does. That guy over there does.
You doing that? How's that working out for you, Brockman?
That's why he's got a shirt with a hole in it.
I have a little bit. I did sell some before the.
Did you dabble? Now, which one did you do? Did you do Bitcoin or did you do?
What'd you dabble?
Yes, all of the above. I'm in all of them.
You're all of them.
Yeah, I was in a bunch. Yeah.
You have a child. You have to think about.
I know. Hence why I don't have them.
Can't be betting on fake money. All right. We're not ready for all that.
He's driving around like a Flintstone, using his feet at the bottom of the car to make it go.
It hasn't been great.
Makes that noise for you. Go.
At least you can hear my car, Billy.
Oh, there's well done. Oh, that's a callback.
The man has a good point.
That's a callback. Oh my gosh. So tell me about your show entering season 4 and why you think it has been so successful, Billy Gardell.
Man, I gravitate to things that have heart and I gravitate to things that set an example of love and tolerance without preaching love and tolerance. I always think an example is better than a speech. And this show came about in a really organic and wonderful way. I got an email from Chuck Lorre and your friend Bob Broder and Peter Roth, who was still running Warner Brothers at the time. They said, we think we have another show for you, and we need a guy with some heart that'll bring this home.
This is after Mike and Molly.
This was after Mike, and I thought that was it. I thought, I got my ticket stamped, and I mean, who gets 2 back-to-back? I mean, that's a short list. There's Kelsey Grammer, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, Newhart, Ed O'Neill, Billy Gardell. So I don't know. I'm on a Cal Ripken streak at this point. I just got to not get hurt. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to get hurt, twist an ankle. But we're coming into season 4, and it's just been a gift. There's a Nigerian comedian, Gina Yashere, helped create this show with them to keep everything legitimate on the Nigerian side of the family. And she co-created and is now helping executive produce the show. And then I was around Chuck's team, which is like playing for the Yankees, and I can't believe it happened. I've been hit with the lucky stick, man. I count my blessings every day, and I try to tell the cast every day, man, look, this is ending. Just remember, it's ending. So what you do today counts. It's ending. They're going to take all this away, and there's going to be 5 people that don't look like us here in a couple of years. So enjoy today. Take it seriously, but enjoy it. And I think that's the key, because all that other stuff you can't control. You can't
Which is
control
whether you stay on the air,
the ratings, or whether I had one of the younger cast members say, "Well, how do we know if we're doing good?" And I said, "Well, when you pull into the lot," I said, "if that gate goes up, we're doing good. If that gate doesn't go, you might as well start auditioning for yogurt commercials." So that's just pay attention to what you can do on the field. That's all.
Then you got to reach out to Acrisure. See if your insurance is.
I'm going down to Ambassador Stadiums. You just want to go? No one knows. I don't know. Ambassador. I was down at Ambassador Sunday.
Down there in
Ambassador is a great word for that. I might have to borrow that on NFL Network. I might shout out to you a little wink through the NFL Network television screen.
I love it.
Oh, man, you're just a delight, Billy Gardell. Season 4 at Bob Hart's Abishola, again, premieres September 19th, a Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS, available to stream live and on demand on Paramount+. New episodes air on both of those platforms every Monday after that. So, again, you look great, man.
Thank you, brother.
TJ, who's also from Western PA over there.
I remember you from last time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm great, man. Good to see you.
He was saying, he was asking if your Permane Brothers career is over.
He did, yeah. My Permane Brothers days are over, unfortunately. I can only eat like
the
2
Oyster
bites
House
of
days
food.
are over?
I told you, all the restaurants, they flew their flags at half mast. I drove by, and they were just out front.
Which one would retire your placemat?
Who would retire my jersey? There's a couple that would retire my jersey.
What do you got?
I would say Permane's will retire my jersey. Portillo's Italian beef would probably retire my jersey. Luminaldo's Pizza in Chicago would retire my. There's a lot. I'd have to do a retirement tour. I'd have to get like a Madden cruiser and go around and.
Gina retirement tour.
Yeah, that's exactly like the Gina tour.
Like Coach K. Like Coach K.
Just be up there. This is the greatest day of my life.
People are going around to restaurants around the country looking up and seeing Billy Gardell's placemat on the rafters. Wow, he was here too, huh?
Yeah. Jersey, bib. Oh, that's Gardell. Yeah, exactly.
He was a legend in the game.
I like shopping in normal stores, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
that's a different world.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I've been in the fat guy store my whole life. You do one lap, you're done. It's, you get a suit, or you get a purple jogging suit, or you get an oversized polo shirt. That's it.
Right.
So walking into Macy's was like, it was like Willy Wonka. It's like, come with me. And you're like, wow, they got different stuff.
Before that, it was good day, sir.
Good day, sir. I said good day. That's exactly right.
Good day, sir. You're in the wrong store. Good day, sir. At Billy Gardell on Twitter. Everybody check out Bob Hart's Abishola, premiering Monday, September 19th.
We're a sweet show.
Make sure the gate keeps going up for him and the cast when they walk in.
That's
they drive
how you
on
know
the
you're
lot.
doing good. This, no bueno. This, Very good.
Enjoy the Steelers season, too.
Thank you for having me. Good luck to you, Jets.
Thanks.
And your Michigan boys started off strong. I think
did.
you're going to be just fine.
They did. And didn't you once put a candle in a cathedral for the Jets one time because we could help you make the playoffs?
Put a candle in St. Patrick's in New York City on a rainy night praying that the Jets would upset the Patriots.
And how'd that work for you? There is no God, is there?
Well,
you became an atheist after that, huh?
Nah, I'm too messed up to not have a God. But I would say that I think God just, some things he comes up short on, too. There are certain things he can't do. So the Jets beating the Pats.
Oh, my God. Billy Gardell, thanks for
by the
coming
way,
on, guys.
before you start a blog about how I think God can't do something, that's a joke.
It's called a joke.
It's a joke.
Yes, I feel the same way. We need to back our play. But I got your back, man.
Thank you, brother.
Billy Gardell right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Back here on the show. Boy, this thing is really wide open.
It looks good.
Oh, thanks.
You got it.
I share a lot with you. Had acupuncture last night.
Oh, what'd you do?
You ever do it?
Did you do the cupping?
No, acupuncture.
No, it's the same, but needles.
Needles.
You went needles.
I go twice a week.
I've never done it. This guy does it.
You did it for your back, right?
Yeah.
I did it for my neck.
Ooh.
Your neck, your back.
As it turns out, renegotiating 2 contracts while also renovating your house, buying a new car, and having 3 children might get a little tense in your neck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Feel good today?
Maybe sleeping wrong, and then all of a sudden out.
Yeah.
You ever do it, TJ? Needles?
Not the needles, no.
Damn.
I've been wanting to do the cupping.
Really?
I kind of do. Yeah, I have a couple buddies who do it.
But I go to get therapy 3 times a week after the show. And
I don't know that. What are you doing it for?
Well, I mean, we don't share a lot, you and I. But,
physical therapy.
What does that mean?
Physical therapy.
Well, I mean, why would you know?
You'd have to tell me. When I say, how are you doing? That would be the response.
Well, I don't like to put my burdens out there on everybody.
I mean, you told me you were hanging in a barn instead of a house last night. That sounds like a burden to me.
Well, the barn's nicer than most houses, though. That's the thing.
A nice barn.
Ashton's barn?
Yeah, nice barn.
Yeah, man, that's no joke.
Are we taking Jonathan Taylor number 1?
Of course we are.
Okay.
Well, why wouldn't we do that?
I don't know.
By the way, Rick, I know you don't care.
Who would we take instead? Hold on a minute. Derrick Henry?
CMC?
Cooper Kupp?
Cooper? Justin Jefferson?
CMC.
We're high on the Vikings.
I think Jonathan Taylor's the way to go.
Okay.
He's fun. He's fun to have.
He's great to have. Yeah.
Right?
I'm very excited to have him.
Fun to have.
We have him in the Latrulio.
You do it at 3 o'clock today, right? You're on it?
3 o'clock. Come on.
Because I have no time.
I know. I'm on.
I have no time.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's true when your business is growing fast, and even more true when there's a lot of uncertainty. Inflation is definitely very unpredictable, and supply chains are the same way. Not every business, though, is in the dark. Why? Because over 31,000 businesses know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite by Oracle gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, of course, inventory, so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs. You can automate your manual business processes and then go see where you save your money. Know your numbers, know your business, get to know how NetSuite can be the source of truth for your entire company. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/richradio right now. netsuite.com/richradio. netsuite.com/richradio. We're so close to week 1, guys. It's tomorrow.
So close.
And then after
like
Bills
29 and a half hours.
Bills Rams, what a remarkable piece of steak to place on the plate right off the bat as an appetizer. And then the dessert is Russell Wilson let's riding into Seattle, where Geno Smith, our second hour guest, said, let's work. That's his hashtag, let's work.
Let's work.
One's riding, one's working.
So you're saying that's the dessert game?
That's the dessert game.
So that would mean the Sunday night game would be the main course then?
That would be one of the main courses, yeah.
I say
Tampa.
That's pre-dessert. Like, you have like a post-dinner.
Maybe that's the dessert. That's the dessert, and Monday night is the the limoncello.
Yeah.
Well,
There's less pie.
Saturday night's the varsity game, though. We understand.
Sunday night is Bucks at Cowboys, which is going to be amazing.
Varsity.
Tom Brady's never lost to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, there's a first time for everything.
And then there are 4 late games. Talk about late games. How about Kansas City at Arizona? How about Green Bay at Minnesota? How about Raiders at Chargers? Giants taking on the Titans as well. 9 1:00 Eastern games, and we're going to run through all of these games over the next couple of days, including Patriots at Dolphins.
Yeah, we
land there because Mike McDaniel is already showing off his skill, talking to the media. Can't wait to see what it looks like with game management. Tua's accurate throwing, most accurate thrower in the game today, Tua Tagovailoa, getting out there. Mike McDaniel, with his first press conference prior to a game as head coach of a team taking on Bill Belichick. We remember Rex Ryan once said he wasn't going to kiss Bill Belichick's rings. How does Mike McDaniel handle this? Roll tape.
Yeah, I mean, can there be a larger disparity in career win-loss total? It would be a bigger deal, I think, if Coach Belichick and I were on the field, maybe doing like an Oklahoma drill. But I don't foresee that happening. I don't think the fans would really pay for that.
That's amazing.
That's the way he handles it.
Love it.
2-drink minimum.
He's great.
Is Dan Soder writing his material? Is his buddy Soder writing that material?
That would be awesome. Maybe.
Because he's got it.
He's very good.
He's got it, man. And I can't wait to see the game management. Mike McDaniel, how does this offense look? I mean, the Dolphins are fascinating. And that's part of the backdrop.
Maybe no Jalen Waddle.
Is that right, huh?
Tua said "if" twice when talking about Jalen Waddle.
No, that would be a shame.
Out there on
that would be a shame. That would be a shame. Belichick, how does he handle the reverse? Because if this was Patrick Beverley, right, then Belichick's coaching alongside McDaniel, right?
Yeah, because they're both
it's
in
not
the game.
The other way around.
Yeah.
Right? Even though the Patriots made the playoffs last year. So, I mean, that's maybe where the Pat Bev analogy breaks down.
Yeah, that's true.
But here you go. This was Bill Belichick on the Dolphins on their Week 1 docket from today. That's today's Bill Belichick press conference moment.
Today's Bill Belichick press conference moment.
Well, we prefer to win.
Coach McDaniels, obviously his first game, but being familiar with his style, this couple days of practice, what are some last things you're going to put in to get ready for that offense?
Whatever we think we need.
Come on, people.
By the way, birds are really loud in South Florida.
Really loud in South Florida. Yeah.
Really loud. It's like almost a Hitchcock movie.
I think it's really hot and humid down. They have kind of a heat wave going like we've got one here.
Dude, I mean, 100 degrees in Los Angeles for a week plus is it's tough to beat. That's a high bar.
I mean, 109 in my crib.
Dude.
Not fun.
So, there you go. That's Bill. Bill even talked about it's hot down here in Miami, right?
He did. He's like, welcome to Florida.
It's hot. Those some loud birds, man.
So loud.
What is going on there? What are the birds doing down there?
As Brian Fellows would say, that bird sounds crazy. I'm Brian Fellows.
No, that's not that. I mean, the birds sounded like they're electrified.
Oh, gosh.
So we're all set for that Dolphins-Patriots matchup, Week 1.
Ugh.
Fun show today, thanks to Billy Gardell. Mina Kimes, thank you to her for rolling with the punches. She was supposed to be on at the top of the hour, and then Geno Smith kindly confirmed for our show to be at the top of hour number 2, so Mina moved 20 minutes, and then Geno couldn't call in until anyway. Mina moved around her schedule to accommodate us, and thanks to Ryan Leaf as well.
Yes, sir.
For being on this show. You ready for tomorrow's show, brother? Guys, you ready for it?
I'm excited for football.
Tomorrow starts with this show and then ends with an actual National Football League game that's being played.
An actual game
and then
actually being played.
On tomorrow's program, Dabo Swinney will join us.
Dabo.
Wonder what advice he gave Trevor Lawrence. Don't worry. Your next coach won't ditch you. Thomas Dimitroff. Eric Wood will be in studio. A Buffalo Bill. Former Bill will be in studio. Yep. And we get set for football.
Football! Are you ready for some football?
Even though Bill Simmons says I ended the season already. We're back with more in a moment. Well, the solo first-place team in New York baseball has a doubleheader today against the Twins.
The Yankees.
Mets.
I wish you could have heard me roll my eyes in the back of my head right now.
I mean,
when
you know
he
what?
said
The
that.
Mets, what do the Mets play today?
We already beat the
right
Pirates.
They're playing right now.
Oh, you're playing the Pirates?
Beating the crap out of the Pirates.
Oh,
I don't enjoy that, by the way.
You got beaten by them yesterday, though.
That's fine, but what are we doing today?
O'Neal Cruz almost hit me in the back of the head with that baseball.
He's so fun.
O'Neal Cruz, the sad thing about it is, unfortunately,
really fun,
he's
man.
not long for Pittsburgh, man.
I don't know.
Probably not.
No, trust me, he's not long for
mad.
Pittsburgh.
It's fun to watch.
Okay, it's great.
They're not going to pay him.
Mets and tie for first all of a sudden. Max Scherzer's saying he's feeling achy. You see that?
Achy.
Just when that Mets Timmy Trumpet thing's being copied by everybody. See, Ohio State did it.
Oh no, really?
Oh, please.
Fighters.
They're the worst.
It's just like, come on. Can we just you know what? Here's what the Braves should do. The Braves should have the Freeze run around with the trumpet and do the trumpet thing.
You know, it's funny. Wilson Contreras has been using that song all year as his walk-up, and no one's noticed.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
you know, the thing about the Mets is, and Brockman just sent me something. The Mets haven't had a collapse, by the way. The Braves have been playing out of their minds.
They've been great.
Out of their minds.
The Mets have played 600 baseball.
I might use that for the Rays at some point in the next 2 weeks.
What's
Write that down. It's not the Yankees. Let's tip our cap to the other team.
Because we don't hate over here.
See you
like
Thursday.
You. Hater McGee.